Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out, procrastination, putting it off, kicking the can down the road. In, plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out, carpet in the bathroom? Like why? In, knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
Welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hello.
Hello, Jess. Hello, Dave. Oh my gosh, what a pleasure to be here amongst you two beautiful people.
Yeah.
Quick question for the both of you. How good is it to be alive?
Dave, I'll let you take that one.
I'm great. It's great. It's perfect. And Jess?
Oh, I mean, I wish I was never born, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, the one thing I'd say about having never been born, right, you wouldn't even know that you hadn't been born. So I think I get it.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, but I'm happy that I was.
Okay.
Because I really think, geez, how good is it to be alive?
For a second, I almost thought you were going to say you were happy that I was born, but that was foolish of me.
No, I'm very happy you were born, but I believe, in women's rights. And if you don't want to be born, I'm not going to be thrusting birth upon you. No. That's just not something I would do as a feminist.
That's right. Dave, do you want to explain how this show works?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. What we do here for the last 495 episodes, and let's do it another time, we take it in turns to report on a topic often suggested to us by one of the listeners. We go away, do a bit of research, write up a little report, and then present it to the other two who have no idea what the topic is going to be, and never, this is very integral, interrupt with dog shit riffs.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's right.
We always start with a question. And Jess, notorious for not remembering to ask a question, and that's fine because it's actually Matt who's asking the question this week. As I remember who's doing what this week.
Beautifully saved.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was heading towards a bit of an ironic moment there, but.
But in the end, it just looked like I was just trying to burn Jess for some reason, and she never writes one.
Jess is a dumb bitch, but it's Matt's turn anyway, so.
Yeah, he is not an ally like I am.
No.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Any opportunity, he will tear women down.
And I actually think that's...
could you please let me finish? While Dave will tear women down, I will lift them up. I'll give them space to, lean in and often listen to me.
I have asked you to stop picking me up, though. But I think the interesting thing about Dave is that he will be a piece of shit to all people, regardless of, gender, race, creed, anything, So
he's an equal opportunity douchebag.
That's right.
Hey, just another quick question, Jess. Are we recording?
I think so.
Okay, great.
Yes, we are. Yep.
Just felt a little paranoid for a second there.
No, something is being recorded.
Okay.
Whether that's from these microphones in this room, we'll never know.
Well, can you look at the wave and see if this does anything? Whip up, boop up, beep up, shimmin up, boop doop ba, hurrah, up.
You know what? I wasn't sure until the hi, and then that was very clear.
Okay, great.
So yeah, I think we're good.
That all synced up nicely. Fantastic.
Yeah, Dave, if you could I just want to make sure your microphone's coming through as well. If you could just test that.
Did that come through?
Yeah, that did actually.
Okay,
yeah, thank you for that.
Well, Jess, should we test your mic?
No, I can see mine's working, so that's all good.
All right. Well,
10 years we've been doing this.
Like Dave said, I'll start with a question. Here we go. Hands on buzzers. That can be your buzzer, Dave.
Okay.
The question is, who was the 16th president of the United States of America? Yes, I'll go to Dave.
I'm going to go with Abraham Lincoln, please.
Correct. How did you know that? I thought I might have taken a few. I guess you're just thinking who's a famous one who wasn't at the start or more recent. Is that right?
No, I know them all in order. So.
Dude, because you sing a song, don't you? You want to sing it?
Abraham Lincoln.
I'll say again, 10 years we've been doing this.
Firstly, why does the song start with the 16th president?
Abraham Lincoln.
And secondly, that is not his name.
Abraham
Lincoln.
I'll talk you through the process there. I was trying to do a bit of We Didn't Start the Fire, and I was going to go from that to Richard Nixon because I know that is actually mentioned second.
And
that went really well.
I think the process. Now I understand the process. I think fantastic job.
Yeah. Now it's one of those things where once you understand the process, you can see the genius behind it.
That's really good.
That's very good. It's kind of like understanding art. You know, you could look at a canvas and go, that's just a bunch of colours together. Whatever, I could do that. A toddler could do that.
Yes.
I could shit better than that. You might think.
Yeah.
But once you understand art, once you understand the process and what it all means, then you're like, oh, this is not just for anyone to do.
Once you got to know the rules to be able to break the rules.
That's right. And Dave Warnocky, he knows the rules.
He knows. Yeah. And he's broken every single one of them. The Bad Boy Podcasting.
So my final answer is Abraham Lincoln, please.
Okay, Jess, do you want to have a go?
I'm going to go for the lesser known Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, that is correct. That is
Really?
correct.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought Lincoln was 16, Lincoln was 17. It was very confusing.
Yeah, it's one of those trick questions that always gets you at trivia night.
So we have talked about him in multiple other episodes, but we've never talked about his actual life. I had a little panic of like,
oh no, Matt, we've done this.
We've talked about his assassination on episode 69.
Okay, so spoilers.
Yes, there are a few spoilers there. And we also talked about when some people try to steal his body, but we haven't actually. We've also talked about the Pinkerton Detective Agency, which he was sort of tangentially involved in.
The episode we did on his assassination was episode 69.
The horniest of all.
I can't handle how long we've been doing this.
Because we got the 500th coming up, obviously. But I was thinking recently, if we count bonus episodes and like Do Go On Presents and stuff, we should do some for the 1000th coming up.
It's insane.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, let's get on to today's report, which is about Abraham Lincoln.
Do we get long service leave here?
Yeah.
Can I take 6 months off? I need a break. Yeah. From you guys specifically. I'll just be at my house.
Yeah, of course. Me and Dave do this for the love, but
yeah, that's right.
I treat it as a business.
We'll have guest jesters in.
It'll be fine. Nobody will notice.
They'll all feel the heft of your large shoes that they try and flip-flop around like a little toddler wearing his mother's high heels.
Yeah.
To put it in terms you understand.
I've got gigantic feet.
Yeah. You've got freak feet.
I get it.
So it's only been suggested, like his life specifically has only been suggested by one person, Allison B. Day from Leahy in Utah, USA. Give me two.
So interesting that obviously his the way he died is incredibly famous.
Yes, a lot of people did suggest his assassination.
Yeah. But it's so interesting that, not many people are like, tell us more about...
Yeah, what about the man behind
the assassination? Yeah. Which I guess would be John Wilkes Booth. So maybe the man in front of the bullet.
Do you reckon Allison B. Day...
That was pretty funny.
That was really funny, actually. That was really good.
It was so funny that you both sat quietly looking at me. And I think, well, Dave was, but he's probably looking at something else on the screen. I can't tell what he's looking at.
In front of the bullet. Yeah, that's really good.
No, I just got it now on delay. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. Allison B. Day, do you reckon that's a B. Day pun, like a pun sort of, nom de plume or whatever?
Nom de plume, or her parents were like really into, being really clean down there.
Yeah.
What if that's just their name and they're pretty sick of being mocked for it?
Well, I reckon they would go by Allison Day if that was the case.
No, I think their name is Allison B. Day, and they are sick of hearing about it.
Allison B. Day, Allison B. Night. Allison will do it anytime you like. On you, Allison. Thanks so much for this suggestion. So I've always known the name.
Of course.
Abraham Lincoln. You know,
Always, since birth.
Apparently, I don't.
I've known it since seeing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Anyway,
And that was, what, 3 weeks old?
yeah, I think that came out in the 90s, and I was probably born around then, I guess.
Yeah. You were probably born around the 90s. You fucking wish you were born in the 90s.
So the main things I knew about him was he was killed, and that he wore a top hat and had a like an Amish style beard.
Yeah.
Chin strap sort of thing. But yeah, didn't really know anything else about him.
Have you had a chin strap in your lifetime, Matt? I'm sure you would.
Oh yeah. Big time. Yep. I think I've done all facial hairs, including a few I made up myself. There's a few that are so bad, I'm like, no one else has ever done this.
The reverse beaker.
The reverse beaker. That's not nowhere near the worst of them.
Yeah, but it's pretty bad.
It is.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I'm really glad we didn't know you then.
I had in my show Bad Boy, I show a photo of me when I had some bad beard, the reverse beaker, and someone who I used to work with at the supermarket came. She's like, I remember those days. So I reckon until recently I wouldn't have known where to place him. I kind of assumed that he was around with George Washington and stuff. You know?
Oh, that far back.
Yeah, I just thought they were all, the four off the rock face. I thought they were four mates. They must have sat there at the same time for their portrait to be chipped into that rock. But no, he was 16th, and he actually wasn't even alive when Washington was alive. Washington died in 1799, and Lincoln was born in 1809.
Wow.
So they're close, but not. Yeah, they didn't even overlap.
So they probably didn't meet then.
I think they didn't meet, not on this plane.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe somewhere
plane.
else. Maybe somewhere else.
That's funny.
So yeah, he's a really interesting guy, interesting life. Let's get into it. So he was born on the 12th of February, 1809. Hey, just by the by, same day as Charles Darwin. But we're not here to talk about him. But anyway, what a day for giants of history being born.
This feels like you're padding.
It's an early pad, yes.
You don't think that's interesting? Have you not heard of Charles Darwin?
That's by the by. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. We're going to start the report any second now. Okay, before we do.
Okay, all right. Here's a few great names early, I think. Lincoln was born to parents Thomas and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. Nancy Hanks. So good.
Nancy Hanks Lincoln.
Nancy Hanks Lincoln. He was born in Ogdenville, Kentucky, and they sure did put him. He put them on the map. He was the second child of those two. His family were quite poor. I think he was basically born into a one-room log cabin.
But how big was the room?
Oh,
because if it's like an airport hangar, that's pretty big.
Yeah. And they had like dividing walls throughout.
Yeah. And it was sort of like it was one room, but it sort of was across multiple stories.
Yeah. And some of the dividing walls had housed the 17 en-suites, the butler's pantry, and
the pool. It was an indoor pool.
Yeah. And they also had another pool room for a table,
but it was tough,
which you could swim in. It was a table you could swim in.
One single room.
Tough. How some people live, it's crazy.
Throughout his youth, he bounced around a bunch of different places, like Perry County, Indiana, Macon County, and New Salem, Illinois. His mother died when she was only 34, and he was only 9. And he didn't get on particularly well with his father, but luckily his dad found a new wife, and they married in about a year, a woman named Sarah Bush Johnson. And Abe got on quite well with her, and she really encouraged him to read and learn and whatnot. I think his parents were illiterate, so but yeah, he did a lot of just learning. He went to a school for about 18 months, I think, in total.
Wow.
But a lot of everything he learned, well, a lot of it was sort of self-taught by just reading at home.
Did he learn anything from Sarah, who's both a Bush and a Johnson, 2 presidential names there.
Yeah, and also 2 words for genitals, sort of. Yeah.
He learned a lot. He learned a
Yeah,
lot.
learn a lot. So yeah, his mum died, hit him pretty hard. According to Tyler Picotti for biography.com, the event was devastating to the young boy, who grew more alienated from his father and quietly resented the hard work placed on him at an early age. He had a growth spurt in his teens. I think by 14 or something, he was 6'2". He ended up being 6'4". And this left him chronically tired. He was tired all the time, and this being paired with his sort of bookishness led his father to label him lazy. He thought he was a lazy kid. But yeah, that's
pretty funny.
Yeah. Obviously, knowing what he achieved through the rest of his life, I think his father was proved right.
I've never met a tall person who I wasn't like, look at this lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm not lazy, I'm tall.
Dad, I'm just tall.
I'm just tall. Oh, any fucking excuse.
So, yeah, Picotti writes, Lincoln ended up 6 feet 4 inches tall, raw-boned and lanky, yet muscular and physically strong.
That's got to be very tall for back then.
Yeah, it's tall for now,
It's
right?
tall. It's tall for now.
So back then it was a freak.
Yeah, right? Because I think we have gotten taller
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah.
Differences in diet and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, for now, 6'4", people are commenting on your height all the time.
Yeah.
Back then, yeah, you're an absolute freak.
I think of it as evolution as well. We're just evolving into a better, taller species, you know?
Ah.
So I think really Lincoln was one of the great leaps forward. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, an X-Men.
Yep.
He was a mutant for his day.
Yeah. And his skill,
And now we're all mutants,
height.
sort of. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Not the most useful, but
His
impressive.
X-Men name was Tall Boy.
yeah,
Whoa.
very cool.
Very lazy.
Lazy boy.
Lazy boy. So, yeah, Picotti continues. He spoke with a backwards twang and walked with a long striding gait.
What's a backwards twang?
Back like a country
Okay.
ochre,
Just a twang.
The American equivalent of an ochre accent, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's not speaking backwards, because that would be awesome.
That'd be so cool and confusing, but interesting to learn now,
Yeah.
So the American equivalent of, how you going?
Yeah. I was born in a log cabin, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, walking furries, mate. Stuff
Yeah, my
like
dad
that.
calls me lazy, but I'm not fucking lazy. I'm just tall, mate.
Yeah.
I'm just tall.
Yeah.
How's the weather up here? Fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
How about you fuck
How
off?
about you fuck off over there?
Yeah.
All right, hooroo. Stuff like that.
What's the weather like down there, you short? Oh, fuck. AJ. Someone said recently that it's funny that AJ bleeps out my but he leaves yours in, Bob.
I would never say it.
Yes, which is why I guess he doesn't have to bleep them out.
Exactly. So that's probably what they're saying.
Yeah.
Michelle said it a bunch, I think.
Yeah.
Not
Especially on an episode like this, which I'm sure a lot of Americans will be tuning in to learn about this guy.
From 3 Australian comedians. If you were like, I'm doing a report on Abraham Lincoln, this is the podcast I've chosen, I'm going to save you an hour, turn off.
No, turn on, which is what our voices do to people.
That's right. Maybe lock the bedroom door.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to be feeling some things any minute now.
Yeah. You're going to have a tall boy in your pants, if you know what I mean.
A freakishly tall boy.
Bigger than you've ever seen.
Mine's lazy.
Wake up. Your dad's calling you lazy? Oh, that's a weird relationship, Dave. All right. It's like a 3-sentence quote from Picotti, and I have not got through it.
Yeah.
I started this about a week ago.
Now you're getting a feeling for how it is when I try to read a report to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this every time, I guess, but I just don't make a big deal out of it like others.
Except now,
Yeah.
when you do make a big deal out of it.
Picotti continues. He was known for his skill in wielding an axe, and early on made a living splitting wood for fire and rail fencing. Lazy job, obviously.
Yeah, lazy.
Do you
Get out
take
there
the
do
easy
something
way out?
useful and productive.
At 22, he moved out on his own. And in New Salem, Illinois, he encountered a gang called the Clary's Grove Boys. How menacing does that sound? Yeah.
The Clary's Grove Boys. Oh, boy.
Like
no.
You're a farmer on the truck. Oh, no. It's the Clary's Grove Boys.
CGBs. And they included a guy, maybe their leader, a big fella named Jack Armstrong. Ooh, Armstrong by name. And according to historian Benjamin Thomas, the Clary's Grove Boys were a rough and boisterous, happy-go-lucky crowd. They lived in and around the community of that name, but came to New Salem to drink, gossip, trade, and play. I love how they gossiped.
Sounds great.
I want to be involved
Gossip's
in it.
number 2.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm keen to join the CGB. Not the KGB. Should say that in case anyone's listening from the CIA. The quote from Benjamin Thomas goes on to say, physical strength and courage were their ideals. In individual and free-for-all fights, they had demonstrated their superiority over the boys from other settlements, and they ruled the town when they chose to. Lincoln later remembered that Armstrong was strong as a Russian bear. You talked to us last week about bears, Dave. Where do Russian bears stand in terms of strength?
Yeah, they claim them to be the biggest ones, to the point that some people are like, I don't think they're that big. They talk up their bears.
Okay. But Lincoln's saying, he's not saying he's only as strong as a Russian bear. He's saying he's as strong as a Russian bear.
That's a strong bear.
According to a New Salem resident of the time named Daniel Green Burner, Armstrong and the
Green Burner.
Green Burner.
Bit of that 420 blaze there.
Hey? Woo! That's me blazing it. I've done it before and I'll do it again.
Yeah, you're super cool.
Yeah. It's 420 somewhere. So anyway, Daniel Green.
You're drinking like a marijuana milkshake.
Sure. Yeah, I'll ingest it in any way.
Yeah, whatever's
and I'll
cool.
swallow.
Whatever's cool. What are the kids doing? That's all right.
Unlike later President Bill Clinton, I'll swallow my marijuana milk.
I did not swallow.
Oh, wait, no. Jess is looking. No, it wasn't. That wasn't like a Monica Lewinsky thing. He said there was a famous quote where he said he did try marijuana once, but he didn't inhale.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Oh, okay. You were just like, that was awful.
Yeah.
Not that it was.
Yuck.
Me talking about cum.
No. Nobody made that connect. Well,
that's all you.
You projected that onto me.
It's pretty amazing how I can spiral just from just a look.
Yeah, that's the power of Jess.
A little side eye. Yep.
Sometimes I'm not actually listening.
When you came to the show last night, I was lucky you weren't sitting up the front. Imagine, I get so
Why would I
sidetracked
do
so
that?
easily.
Why
no,
would I do that? I purposely get there late to then sit in the back. But yeah, no, imagine.
But yeah, because was it last night? There was someone in the crowd said something. They had a thick accent.
Yep.
And they said something and I could not understand what they said.
And then you spiraled on stage.
I spiraled.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I think I spiral most nights.
I've only ever sat in the front row on purpose at a friend's show once, and it was Sam Taunton. And it was to we were getting in on a pass,
and it was when he was doing one of those naked comedy nights.
Naked comedy night, which he
like, I gotta get a close up.
I was like, I gotta get up close for this because I've asked and he never lets me see it.
No matter how much I ask,
I asked really nicely.
Come on,
show me,
send me a pic
please,
if you like.
I'd say. But no, I was getting on a pass. There were 2 seats left. One was in the very front row, and I sat in the front row. I watched him walk out and seeming a fuck. So no, I did not do that to you, but maybe one day I will.
Yeah. Hey, I probably deserve it.
You were saying, like, is anybody going to come up and sit in the front row? And I was there with your cousin as well. And part of me was like, we should just go up and sit in the front. That'd be pretty funny.
I would have loved it. So what are we talking about? Daniel Green Burner.
That's right.
He's a local in New Salem, and he's
what a detour we took.
Just a guy's name.
We went cross country there.
Yeah,
didn't
we really did.
But yeah, like you said before, no dog shit riffs.
Absolutely not.
We'll stay on topic.
Yes.
And if you are about to do maybe some sort of university exam about the life of Abraham Lincoln, this is your resource.
That's right. Feel free to quote us.
One-stop shop.
In Harvard referencing.
Yes.
Or Oxford. What are the references? I haven't been to uni for a long time.
Yeah. I think you could do either of those.
Yeah.
Or you could, what about Monash referencing?
No.
No.
Never Monash
Never.
referencing.
No one references Monash.
As a Deakin alum,
Oh,
we
Deakin.
never mention Monash.
I spit on you.
Well, I spit on you from up higher. You're spitting up, so you're actually spitting back down on yourself, idiot.
Oh, foiled again by those superior Deakin, the Deakin boys.
So Green
Yes, Daniel Green
Burner, yes.
a resident who witnessed some of these skirmishes with the Clary Grove gang. He said Armstrong and the CGB would initiate newcomers into town. Lincoln was tall, ungainly, awkward, and was bantered by this crowd. Gives sort of, a bit of chat.
Yeah.
And hey, what's up, tall boy?
And he
What's
said,
the weather like up there?
Yeah, not much. Thank you for asking. I'm new to town and I'd love to make some friends.
And Green Burner says these fellows would come into New Salem, get drunk, and would handle a novice roughly. Hey, newcomers?
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Shoulder bump him.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hey.
Didn't see you there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
let me buy you a drink as an apology.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry about
want
that.
to hear some gossip?
Yeah.
Because I got some
Welcome
tea
to the
to
town.
spill.
Do you want me to catch you up on the goss? It turns out he's a really nice guy,
Yeah.
but his tone is just way off.
He just doesn't have certain skills.
People keep saying, you actually sound really sarcastic and passive-aggressive. And he's
What?
like, what?
Do I? Really?
Oh, my God, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm actually really upset to hear that
I'm
because
mortified.
it matters so much to me that people feel welcome in this town.
It really does. So it sounds like Lincoln took it all in good fun, though. He ended up wagering $10, which was a bit of a sum back then, that he would be able to find someone to defeat Armstrong in a wrestling match by the following Saturday. He says, meet us back here Saturday. I'm going to bring someone who's going to take you down.
That's so
With $10 on the line.
He's not threatening himself. He's like, yeah, I'll find someone.
Yeah.
You think you're
better
than me?
Because I think the idea is Armstrong's undefeatable. So he's like, I'll find someone. Yeah, you reckon you're undefeatable? I'll find someone. He's like, okay, this guy's a Russian bear, so I'm going to need to go find 2 Russian bears. A man as strong as 1.5 Russian bears.
Minimum.
So the Saturday rolls around and Lincoln was not able to find anyone who would be willing to take. Everyone was scared of this guy, so no one was up for it. And according to our mate Daniel Greenburner, DGB, they waited around and became impatient, and finally Armstrong demanded of Lincoln the $10. He's like, I think Lincoln maybe organised someone and they were a no-show.
Right, because otherwise it would silly that they're just all standing around.
Yeah.
Lincoln's like, yeah, no, he's on his way. Just
Yeah.
waiting for a
Bluffing
miracle or
it,
something, yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, it's a 12-year-old boy doing a paper route.
Get in the ring.
Get in the ring.
So
Just beats the shit out of him.
when Armstrong demanded the cash, Lincoln replied, look here, Jack. This is according to Daniel Greenburner. Look here, Jack. My man isn't here yet, but rather than lose that $10, I'll wrestle with you myself.
Whoa.
Retellings of the story seem to vary greatly about how the ensuing fight resulted. Many suggest that the fight ended in a draw, but I like Burner's version better. He recounted, they went at it, and Lincoln just fooled with Armstrong until he had him tired out completely. Then he swung his leg over Armstrong's neck and made Armstrong run around holding him up in that position. Jack finally begged off, admitting he was beaten, and offered Lincoln the $10, which Lincoln refused to take. The two were ever afterwards warm friends. How do you picture that? He threw his leg over his neck?
I'm picturing it real sexy.
Yeah, okay. Front on.
And then he's running around being like, get off. Get off.
Yeah, get off.
How
Yeah.
else can I put you down?
It sounds like he was like riding him around like a horsey. Years later, in a political debate in 1858, his opponent, we'll talk about this briefly later, Senator Stephen Douglas observed, Minka Lincoln. Let's go again.
Jar Jar Binks.
Senator Stephen Douglas observed, Mr. Lincoln could beat any of the boys wrestling or running a foot race, in pitching quoits or tossing a copper. That's four of the classic feats
It's a
of
big
strength.
four.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all skills I assume you have as well, Dave. You're sort of our Abraham Lincoln, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can toss a copper. I can throw a quoit.
Yeah.
I can outrun any man, and You better believe I get my leg over and they're going to be begging me to be put
Get
down.
him off. Get you off.
Get off.
Get off. Get off.
Because it's not typically a position of strength when they're carrying you around.
I like to think that it's just later on he's telling this story of a guy who became president.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to flip. He's like, he destroyed him. Yeah, he was being carried around like he wanted to be.
Yeah. It was all part of the plan.
So in New Salem, he was employed by a shopkeeper, and apparently this shopkeeper organised some wrestling matches for Lincoln to take part in as a way to promote his business. He just became this sort of great wrestler. According to the Olympics website, he went on to amass 300 victories over 12 years, with his only known defeat coming at the hands of Hank Thompson during the Black Hawk War of 1832, where Lincoln was serving with the Illinois Volunteers. In 1992, he was officially recognised by the National Wrestling Hall of Fame as an outstanding American in the sport, making him the only US president to do so, which I guess is probably unsurprising.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, well, he's the only one to have done that, but Donald Trump was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013.
There you go.
Which is like sort of, the scripted version.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, I think. Couple of Republican greats.
Yeah.
In their ways. Apparently both big on tariffs. While a store clerk, he used his strength to help a workmate named Bill Green get even, according to Carl Sandburg's 1926 book. When a small gambler tricked Bill Green, Lincoln's helper at the store, Lincoln told Bill to bet him the best fur hat in the store that Lincoln, could lift a barrel of whiskey from the floor and hold it while he took a drink from the bunghole.
From the bunghole?
From the bunghole, which I didn't realise that's where that term comes from. The hole in the
Could have
whiskey
sworn
barrel.
that Beavis and Butthead coined that.
Yeah. Some TP for my bunghole. I never saw the show, but I know that quote for some reason.
Was not allowed to watch the show.
Right.
But my older brother was.
Whoa.
One of many injustices.
And that was because you're a girl, not your age.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents are really sexy.
They said it wasn't very ladylike.
No. They said, go ride your horse side saddle.
Yes, put those legs back together, please. It's not very ladylike. I said this before. I remember my sisters being told that by adults when I was a kid. Put your legs back together. You're not very ladylike. What are you talking
What are you talking about? That's a child.
Like a child sitting cross-legged or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're being a freak, looking back.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's so convoluted. His mate at work gets tricked into losing a bet apparently, and he goes, "I know what'll fix this. Bet him the most expensive hat in this store that I can't hold up a whiskey barrel and drink it from the bunghole standing up." Like, great.
Okay.
The perfect plan.
Yeah.
So obvious, I can't believe I didn't think of it. Anyway, the guy took the bet, and Lincoln did it, squatting, just real strong guy, supped from the bunghole. Apparently, he was basically a teetotaler. So he spat it out after he took it in, like Clinton, never inhaled, never swallowed.
You always spit after you drink from the bunghole.
I think that's just good hygiene. But apparently he did drink a little bit. So some people say he's a teetotaler, but it sounds like he would sip on drinks socially.
Yeah, he wasn't a
out
big
of
drinker.
Politeness sort of thing.
But what about the guy who lost the bet? Now he has to try and come up with the finest fur hat to give to the shopkeeper.
No, he has to.
Yeah.
He has to. I think he has to. The hat is already in the shop for sale, so I think the shopkeeper will get the money for the hat without having to give the hat. I guess, if he lost the bet, he would give the hat. But if he won the bet, I guess the guy had to pay the hat.
It's very convoluted.
So convoluted.
Yeah.
But as we agree, the perfect solution to the problem.
Very cool as well, yes. Perfect solution, very cool.
And when we say convoluted, I mean neat and tidy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
When we say convoluted, we mean makes perfect sense to us.
Elegant.
Yes.
Picotti writes, it was through working with the public that Lincoln acquired social skills and honed a storytelling talent that made him popular with the locals. Not satisfied with being a champion wrestler, he became a lawyer. But By studying at some fancy law school, you're probably assuming? No, he taught himself.
He's taught himself how to be a lawyer.
Yeah, he taught himself how to be a lawyer at home.
See, I think bring that back.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day when you didn't need fancy degrees for stuff, you just got out there, you learnt on the job.
Learn on the job.
Yeah, you hired a few good men from Video Easy, and then you got up there and just yelled, "You can't handle the truth."
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth. Yeah.
How much more could there be to it? All right, maybe you got to do like a lawyer apprenticeship with somebody who's been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I think
that's smart.
Yeah.
I'd prefer my doctors to just be kind of learning on the job.
So,
personally.
Well, you know when you go see a doctor, what's on that computer?
Oh,
I reckon Wikipedia.
Tetris, I thought.
Yeah.
What does herpes mean? It's something they might.
They might.
Ooh, ew, what are these spots? You know, stuff like that. You look at their Google
does
history.
this woman smell so bad? Stuff like that.
Yeah, what is this must?
Yeah.
And Google they say we can't smell.
How to politely tell someone she is disgusting.
Yeah. all the results just say, have you suggested she lose some weight?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the first thing they do is weigh you.
Yeah.
Even if you're just going in for a new script, they'll have to chuck me on the scales.
Yeah. Ooh,
better take your blood pressure. Bet it's terrible.
Yeah.
You gross bitch. Oh, it's very good.
Oh.
Well, we better weigh you then. You're disgusting. Oh.
It's definitely your fault somehow.
Somehow
We'll figure out how
fault.
you've caused
You're
this.
You're probably pregnant, aren't you?
Yeah.
No.
Have you been sleeping around? No, I've been in a steady relationship, but I don't think that's really relevant.
It's not relevant, but you've got it on your files that I'm married. He's a patient here too.
Yeah. Are we not a sex positive GP here?
Oh, you big dirty slut. I gotta get a new GP. I'm just here for a script for medication I've been on for many years.
And I'm getting called a slut.
I get called a slut and you're weighing me.
Yeah.
Why?
You chunky slut. Wait, whoa.
They walk out to the waiting room. Slut here.
Slut.
Next slut in. It's a number system. Who's got number 2? Who's the number 2 slut?
Number 2 slut.
Thanks for waiting, slut.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Good on him. It's a good system.
How did we get to that?
Yeah, so he taught himself
how
to be a lawyer.
Yes.
According to Picotti, he taught himself the law by reading William Blackstone's commentaries on the laws of England, which is a different country, but I guess there was some overlap. After being admitted to the bar in 1837, he moved to Springfield, Illinois, and began to practice in the John T. Stewart law firm. John T. Stewart, coincidentally, maybe he was a cousin of a woman named Mary Todd. Maybe she'll come up later. He represented a range of clients, including banks and other large organizations, as well as men accused of crimes such as murder, which is one of the big ones.
That's dare I say, and I know we don't like to
rank crimes.
No, and I know we don't like to
glorify crimes.
That's right. Well, I think it is one of the big ones. I also think it's one of the bad ones.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Biggest.
Just saying. I know we don't like to get political on this show, but
yeah, we think it's the 3 Bs: biggest, baddest, best crimes. It's pretty sick. It's a cool crime.
By
cool.
Baddest, we mean
ooh,
you bad. Kind of, like it's a positive
badass. As an American might say, badass.
Badass.
I've come around. I used to not like ass, ASS for ass, but I've really come around to it. I think it's the much funnier version.
Because badass.
Badass
Sounds terrible.
I think it sounds sick.
Badass.
Mate, that is badass.
Oh.
Mate, you are fucking badass. Mate, Dave, that haircut is badass.
Mate, your ass is actually bad.
I don't think Dave gets
but
it.
Badass. Badass is funnier. It's lighter, it's fluffier.
Yeah.
That is badass.
Sort of like, some people will say they'll write ass like ARSE, like English way. I'm like, no.
Oh, that's how I would write it.
Nah, I'm just going ass.
What's the Australian way? So that's English.
Probably English.
We should, like most things, find a middle ground between the two.
Yeah.
Maybe no E, ARS.
Oh, hate it.
Okay. The ARS, that's also like
What about just
already a
RSE?
thing. RSE. Yeah. RSA?
Ah.
Yeah.
Do you want to get back onto the report?
Yes. RSA is responsible service about alcohol.
Yeah, it was a very good joke.
No, I was just letting AJ know to cut that out. Apparently in one case, this is like an anecdote that's mentioned in his biography.com biography. A witness said in one of the cases he was representing a client who was charged with murder.
And you'd be stoked to have a guy that comes and says, "Don't worry, I taught myself."
Yeah, don't worry. I read a book basically cover to cover.
So
He goes, I read a book, I taught myself, and by the way, I'm really strong. I'd be like, sweet, let's do this.
Yeah. If for some reason we lose, I'll make one of the weirdest bets you've ever heard of with the judge.
And I'll win, and then we can just go about our days going, what the fuck was that?
So it's a great backup plan.
Yeah.
We can't lose.
We can't lose.
I'll bet
No
that
win,
I
no fee.
can't reach that top shelf. And
Because I'll be crouching when I make that bet, and then he'll take the bet, and then I'll stand up straight.
I'll do that thing where I'm like kneeling on shoes.
Yeah. I'm tall enough that it works.
Yeah. So yeah, he's representing a murderer, and there's this witness saying that he could identify Lincoln's client as the murderer. He saw it all clearly, even though it was nighttime, because it was well lit due to a full moon. So Lincoln's going, "How could you see so well at night?" And he's like, "Oh, it was bright because of the moon. It was a full moon." And Lincoln was able to prove that the night in question was actually too dark for the witness to have seen anything clearly.
Oh, wow.
Bang! Cop that!
Yeah.
You've been Lincoln!
Lincoln he's tracking the moons.
Yeah.
He loves the moon.
Yeah.
So he's like, bitch, no, it wasn't.
He loves full moons. He loves bungholes.
Yeah.
He's an ass man.
He's an ass man. Ass man Lincoln.
Yeah. And he was, he got the client acquitted based on that. So, yeah. I can't argue with that, can you?
You can't. Too dark.
Mate, look, it was too dark. In 1832, at the age of 23 or 24, he made his first political speech.
Sorry, he was only like 21 when he decided to be a lawyer.
Yeah, so he's sort of doing a bit of it. Like, the law's kind of going on in the background while he's sort of dipping his toe in politics a bit.
Okay.
And he's being encouraged. He's just a very popular guy around town. People like hearing him talk, that sort of stuff. And I believe this is his speech in full, which I found a book that has all his speeches written down. So wild that this one was kept from, at this point, this backwater sort of very small, insignificant political speech at the time.
And you're going to read the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. He is padding, Dave. You were right.
Let me try and get in a character. Chin strap. Okay. Chin strap, top hat. He didn't have, yeah. Okay. I know Lincoln fans, Lincoln files will be like, he didn't have the beard yet. Okay. I'll get to that. But I'm just trying to get in the character.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Gentlemen and fellow citizens, I presume you all know who I am. I am humble Abraham Lincoln, which is a contradiction, right?
Yeah.
I assume you know who I am. I'm humble.
Yeah.
You know me.
Okay.
You know me.
Yeah.
I'm big.
He's talking to his local town. Everyone knows everyone, so that's why he's saying, I have been solicited by many friends to become a candidate for the legislature. My politics are short and sweet, like an old woman's dance. You see, getting a little laugh there. Lincoln knows how to work a crowd.
Lighten it up.
I'm in favor, and then he goes through his policies. I'm in favor of a national bank. I'm in favor of the internal improvement system and a high protective tariff. Bit of the Trump sort of stuff. These are my sentiments and political principles. If elected, I shall be thankful. If not, it will be all the same. That was the speech.
So he's kind of like, elect me, that would be super cool. Or don't, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm cool either way.
I'm cool.
No pressure.
If you elect me, I'll be like, Rigididge, that's sick.
I'm in.
And I'll do a great job. I'll do a great job. But if you don't elect me, I'll be like, what? Like, I don't even fucking care. I never wanted it anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll probably just read a book about how to be a mechanic or something.
And I'll go do that.
Yeah.
And then you can bring your car to me and I'll fix it.
Yeah.
No worries.
No worries. According to Vera Chan, Lincoln got physical at his this first political speech. It was in Papsville, right outside of Springfield, apparently, writing for Yahoo. A fight broke out in the crowd. I haven't found many versions of this story.
But I'm taking
That's
this.
why I've had to go with Yahoo.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like the story. So, a fight broke out in the crowd, and Lincoln saw a friend about to get pummeled. And this is from a historian named Donald. Quitting the platform, he strode into the audience, seized the accident by the neck and the seat of his trousers, and, as one witness remembered, threw him 12 feet away. At 6'4" and 214 pounds, he was strong enough to intimidate any rival. Threw a man 12 feet.
12 feet.
What do you think, Dave?
And the man was referred to as the accident?
Yeah, I like that.
That sounds like WWE. Like it's Abe Lincoln versus the accident.
Is it? The accident is such a brutal takedown of someone.
What was he?
You're an accident.
214 pounds?
Yeah, what's that mean?
97 kilos?
That's...
And 6'4"?
Yeah, he was lanky, they say.
Exactly. He's I mean, to be 6'4" and 97 is, you're lean.
Yeah.
I think
strong.
we got
remember when he supped from a bunghole?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
How could I forget something from a bunghole?
We got a fact check here. Was the accident that he threw, was it a toddler?
Yeah.
12 feet?
I don't think I could throw a
Still,
toddler 12
I still
feet.
think that's pretty good.
I'm thinking
someone
about,
was at the other end to catch the toddler, if
Yeah,
you
of
worried.
course.
Oh, I'm thinking about throwing my best friend's kid onto a couch or something.
Yeah.
And she's loving it.
12 feet away?
That's the thing. I'm thinking about like really grabbing her from the front of her clothes.
Just like crunching into the back of the couch.
She's flying.
Yeah.
She's loving it mid-flight.
Yeah.
But the landing is hard. The landing is hard.
Yeah.
And you're telling Mum, no, she loves it.
She loves it.
It's like, did you, when you were a kid, your dad used to throw you in the beach, hold you up and piff you?
Straight into the sand, yeah. Head first. Really hurt.
Oh, yeah. Your dad didn't love you. Mine did it in the water.
Oh, that would have made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, into pools or something. That's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. So fun. He threw people, according to Yahoo.
12 feet.
Yeah. Well, they were quoting a historian. I've called him Donald. I really should find out his actual name.
Nah, don't worry about it.
David Herbert Donald.
David Herbert Donald.
In his 1996 biography, Lincoln. And it was an award-winning biography. So actually, I take it all back. That's definitely true. Lincoln's campaign was interrupted when he volunteered to fight in the Black Hawk War, which I briefly mentioned before. This sounds like these times are grim.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Hawk War sounds pretty sad. According to an Illinois government website, in 1828, the last of the Sauk and Fox Indians in Illinois were forced out of Illinois and were relocated west of the Mississippi River in what is now Iowa. And on the 5th of April, 1832, Sauk chief Black Hawk led approximately 2,000 Indians, mostly women and children, back into their tribe's old Illinois homeland. Illinois Governor John Reynolds called for volunteers to assist the United States Army in driving Black Hawk and his followers back out of Illinois. And Lincoln was one of those volunteers to help push them back.
Ew.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. Apparently he never saw any action. He didn't fire a shot or anything, but yeah, he was there for it.
And that's when he lost his only fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's when he lost his only fight. A wrestle just while they was, I guess, sitting around in the reserves or whatever. He also he got elected the captain of his
wrestling team
and his army regiment or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Which apparently he later said that was like the highest honor of his life, which is interesting.
You were the president.
Oh, he didn't give a shit about that. He was like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, same thing. He was like, vote for me. Great. I'll do a good job.
I don't give a shit about
But if
politics.
you don't, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
But if my army boys who are helping push back Indigenous people of these lands back over the other side of a river, that's a thing to be hanging a hat on.
For some reason, it's incredibly important to us that they're on the other side of that river.
Yeah, away from us.
We've just decided that, and now we're really passionate about it.
Yeah,
and it makes a lot of sense.
Keep pushing them away.
They've been here for ages. Yeah.
But don't worry.
We want it now.
As soon as we see any value in that land, we'll push them somewhere else.
We'll push them somewhere else. Yeah.
Mirrors a lot of Australian history, doesn't
it?
pushing is probably the best result in some ways.
That's the friendliest term.
Yeah. In 1834, so yeah, he came back. Did I say this? He came back with only a month to go of the campaign.
Oh, right.
So he left to serve, came back.
And nobody's campaigning for him in the meantime.
I guess not. And he ended up finishing 8th in a field of 13 candidates. In 1834, he was elected to the Illinois state legislature, though, as a member of the Whig Party, where he served for 8 years.
And the Whig Party...
I'm so glad you asked. According to Britannica, the Whigs were a major political party active in the period of 1834 to 54, bringing together a loose coalition of groups united in their opposition to what party members viewed as the executive tyranny of King Andrew Jackson. Not a real king, but they reckon he acted like one. Imagine being so hated that a political party formed to oppose you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Andrew Jackson did, which I'm pretty sure listeners have told me in the past when I mentioned him not knowing anything about him that he was like famously a real prick.
Okay.
And in these times, like after what we're talking about, you can imagine how much of a prick he may have been.
Like all Andrews, really.
Yeah.
Name a good one.
Yeah, it's a prick name.
You can't. You can't.
I cannot think of a single one.
Yeah. Think of any Andrew.
I'm struggling to think of any Andrews.
Andy Matthews. He'd technically be an Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
And real piece of shit.
Famously.
Famously just a foul person.
Hated in Australian comedy scene, isn't he?
Yeah. We drove him out of town.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. And we said...
We dropped him off.
This is where you live now.
Yeah, so enjoy.
Yeah.
Here's a lovely home.
Yeah.
To raise your gorgeous children in.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
You piece of shit. We love you. Bye.
I hate Andy Matthews so much.
He's such
God,
a
he's just trouble, he is.
Yeah. And I don't care if he hears it.
No, I hope he hears it.
Yeah.
And I hope he messages me and said, hey, I heard that.
Yeah. I'll say, I hope you found that a bit of fun.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit of fun. We're all having a bit of fun. We love you. We miss you.
Love you, Andy. Come back anytime.
Let us know, though. Like, give us a heads up.
Yeah.
Don't just fucking turn up. That's rude. See? Those Andrews.
Yeah, those Andrews. They're all some sort of scientists. They always come in and tell us the story of the gentleman
Andrew
bushranger.
Has like a degree in geology.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly right.
Crazy. You're right. They're all science boys.
Yeah, science pricks. So he's finally in active service in Parliament, state Parliament, but serving with the Whigs. According to Picotti, as a member of the Illinois state legislature, Lincoln supported the Whigs' politics of government-sponsored infrastructure and protective tariffs. This political understanding led him to formulate his early views on slavery, not so much as a moral wrong, but as an impediment to economic development.
Well, however you get to the right answer, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to show your workings out on this one.
Yeah, it's okay. Just say you oppose it, and that's, if you're going to put it into action, okay. I just think it's, economically. No. It's okay.
What about love?
Yeah, how about that?
How about love?
What does it pay? Does it pay?
Well, no, it doesn't pay.
Well,
not in my experience, no.
I imagine we're going to get to a proposal or two coming up, and I imagine he says, either way, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Will you marry me? If you do, I'd be
Great.
stoked. If you don't,
No,
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I'm about to read a book about how to breed greyhounds.
Yeah,
So
you think I'm going to be all cut up about it?
I think it's fine.
Arrogant.
Yeah. I'm about to breed some winners.
Okay.
Okay? I don't need to hang around with a loser like you.
Yeah, I don't need you. But is it a yes?
Yeah. I love that you see a trope online of people on like a dating app being like, hey, babe, I think you're so beautiful. Let's catch up. Oh, sorry, I'm not available at the moment. Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit.
You're repulsive anyway.
Yeah.
I actually looked at your picture and threw up on my dick.
Wait, what?
What?
What just happened? What? So yes.
I saw your picture and it made me go out and kill a dog.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Wait, that's the opposite of what you said just before. It's the same picture.
That's really full on.
Well, it's changed now that you rejected me politely.
Yeah.
That was the worst bit about it.
Now get on these scales.
Yeah. Chunky slut.
doctor?
Doctor.
What's going on? I think it's that Dave isn't in the room, and we feel like naughty kids who've got a substitute teacher or something.
I think the way that AJ's edited this episode together, people will be shocked to hear that Dave isn't in the room.
Yeah. He's in a room.
He's in.
I'm not in the room. Sorry, just pretending I was on delay. Bit of fun there.
Pretending you're on delay, yes.
Bit of fun.
Yeah. our little slow boy. Fun to be on this side of it. So, yeah, let's talk about love for Abraham. Picotti writes around 1837 he purportedly met and became romantically involved with an Anne Rutledge. But sadly, before they had a chance to be engaged, a wave of typhoid fever came over New Salem and Anne died at just age 22.
Oh.
There's mixed reports on this, but some say her death was said to have left Lincoln severely depressed, but other historians disagree.
Okay, what are the other stories?
He was elated.
He was like, thank
He was
for
like,
that.
woo! A new lease on life.
Others say that they weren't really in a relationship at all, and that's been overplayed. And that maybe that's all just a bit myth making.
I think you can be sad about the death of someone you know.
Yeah. Do you reckon there's anything in it that historians are saying? I don't think so. It's like lonely historians going, yeah,
No,
that
I
doesn't
can't-
ring true to me.
I can't imagine that
That sounds made up.
someone he knew died and he was sad about it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I
Not
call
my experience.
bull dust.
That doesn't line up with my human experience.
Yeah.
It's just me and my birds.
Which is what he called his ladies.
I mean, he had pet birds, and then one of the birds dies, and he gets really sad, and then he's like, "Oh wait,"
Oh.
because now there's
I
finally
think I'll get it.
something he cared about.
Yeah. But then his parents buy him another bird.
And
And,
he's
he
like,
goes,
"Oh."
they're back. It's back.
Yeah.
Oh, that made me feel a lot better.
Oh,
Oh, it's good to see you back, John.
this is my bird, John.
This is my bed, John.
Dave, we need you.
This is my bird, John.
What's wrong with that? 10 years. People listen. That's the thing. People have listened for coming up 10 years.
Yeah, honestly, guys,
And
stop
this is-
encouraging it. Stop
This is the
encouraging this.
tedious shit that we do.
No, I think I need encouragement because I'll stop doing this. If you stop encouraging me, I'll just
If you stop listening, it's over.
I'll read this
Yeah.
and I'll say, "Shut up, Jess. Shut up, Dave. I'm trying to say a thing." And then you two can just turn your mics off and I'll just read.
Yeah, you could just read in a room if you want.
100% this podcast would be more popular if that's what we did.
What? Just read it out loud.
our reports.
Do you reckon?
I reckon.
I'd be so dull.
It would be.
But so we don't even all turn up to record. It's
Yeah.
still we take turns.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's not bad.
I 100% think it would be more popular.
I would probably
Not with the people who do like and listen to it, I
Mm.
don't think. But I think other people who listen for 5 minutes and go, these guys are so fucking annoying. They would love just us reading it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's millions of people,
Yeah.
if not multi-millions.
No.
Which
I
millions already
I
is.
think you've pushed too far.
Okay.
It is true that more people don't listen than listen, so there is
Yeah.
a big market out there.
Yeah.
But it's 50-50.
Untapped.
It's almost 50-50, so we could tip the scales.
Yes. Yeah. That's
Almost
true.
half of planet Earth
We could
are
have the other
listening.
half.
How the other half live without us.
So after a year, about a year after the death of Rutledge, Lincoln was dating or courting, as they used to do, a woman named Mary Owens. And they got close to thinking about marriage, but Lincoln didn't feel it in the end. and called
Close
things
to
off.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an important stage in a relationship.
Yeah.
When you're almost ready to think about it.
When I think that's probably the stage where if you start thinking about it, you're like, no, I don't see this in the future, then that's maybe when things...
No, I say stay together another 10 years.
Well, maybe it'll happen.
Really, take the best years from her.
Yeah. From her. Yeah.
Then break up with her.
Yeah. Takes the best years from her. What are you, a doctor? That was her youth.
Yeah.
She's nothing now.
She's nothing now.
She's a middle-aged woman.
She's a husk.
So then there was Mary Todd, who I mentioned briefly before. And according to Britannica, she was the daughter of Robert Smith Todd, a prosperous businessman, and Eliza Parker Todd, who came from a distinguished and well-connected family. As a feminist, I have to point out, always fun, the dad is known for what he did. The mum from
What
the
her dad
family
did.
she came from.
Yeah.
Mary was given an excellent... Man, this has just made a lot of people turn off. They're like, enough of this woke BS.
Yeah. I don't
Stop
care.
virtue signaling.
I don't care what a woman does. I care what she weighs. I care what her daddy did.
Mary was given an excellent education for a young woman of her time, and she later boasted about how well she had learned French. In 1839, which is so fun.
Very fun.
Reminds me of some really fun people to be around. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't mind people learning French, Dave, but it's Dave boasting about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, 600 and something days straight of...
Actually, it's 650 last night. Yes, got a new little logo, little thing come up saying you did 650, you did good, you're great, fantastic, I love you.
Yeah, you're the modern day Lincoln learning law from a book. You're learning French from an app.
Yeah, but it does sound like she boasted about learning it. It does sound like also she's not speaking French. She's just talking about how she's learned
Yeah,
it.
I learned French fluently. I
So
learned
well.
it really well.
Yeah.
So
I won't speak it for you, but I learned it
Well,
very
you wouldn't
well.
understand it if I did speak it, so it's probably not really worth...
What would
what's
that
it-
prove?
Yeah.
waste of your time, waste of my time.
Yeah, that's how we say
What's
je m'aime non.
I guess we'll just keep conversing in boring old English.
If you want to.
My second language.
Which I'm also very good at.
I'm very good at it, but
In that's earlier. In 1839, she moved to Springfield, Illinois. Hey, familiar with that place? That's where Abraham Lincoln lives. To live with her sister Elizabeth and Elizabeth's husband, fantastically named Ninian Edwards. I don't think I've
Ninian.
heard of a Ninian before.
Ninian.
Ninian.
What?
Could be Narnian.
Bring it back.
I think
Ninian
Ninian.
rules.
Ninian's sick. Ninian Edwards.
Dave, maybe consider renaming your child.
Well, I mean-
Ninian.
To rename, you'd have to change their name, Jess. We've already got Ninian
Little
Wanaki.
Ninian Wanaki.
Little Ninian.
Oh, little Ninian.
Come along, Ninian.
So yeah, Ninian Edwards was from a family that was active in local politics. And this is still from Britannica. As an attractive and accomplished member of a prominent household, Mary received much attention, particularly from Abraham Lincoln. That's the guy we're talking about. Lincoln was then a struggling country lawyer with no firm prospects. After a tempestuous courtship, which Abraham once broke off their engagement, the couple married on November the 4th, 1842, despite Elizabeth's objections.
Her sister
Her sister.
was like, no.
Oh, babe, no.
Can I
This
be real with
lanky
you?
Freak,
Can I be real with
no.
you, babe? Before you walk down that aisle, are you sure about it?
Yeah,
Because if you're not, that's okay.
that's okay.
We can leave.
Look at him. He's having a duck under doorways to get in. He's a freak,
Such a lanky
babe.
freak.
Babe,
Man.
no.
Mary's got to come back and say, mate, you married Ninian.
Ninian.
Okay?
At least this guy's Abraham.
That's a name we've
Ninian.
heard of.
I love Ninian.
Ninian's great, but I think it's like a name for a fish, not a man.
Okay. Which is your way of saying someone better than a man as a
A
feminist.
fish.
Because a man needs a fish. Like a woman needs a bicycle. Something like that.
A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Is that what you go for?
Sorry. I've got it tattooed on my chest. I say it backwards in the mirror every morning. So it confuses me.
You speak it with a backwards twang.
As a feminist. Sorry if this is too woke for you, but I am a feminist and I make no apologies for that. Okay, I'm sorry. So
They got married.
They got married.
It seemed like it was not a great engagement or courtship. He broke it off at one point, but they got married.
well, apparently, like if you see photos of her, and him, like what attractive was different at different times.
He looks like a monkey.
Like they both look weird,
Yeah.
but people look different back then. You know what I mean?
I don't know what Mary Todd Lincoln looks like, so I'm looking.
I'm looking at that right now too.
And
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
you know, she looked like of her time.
Toad.
That
She looks like a toad.
Todd.
Mary Toad Lincoln, yes.
That's so mean.
She's already said Abraham looked like a monkey.
She's dead, Dave.
So you're thinking a monkey and a toad. You can only imagine what their kids look like. Actually, a pretty good combo.
She's fine. She's fine.
Yeah, like
especially when young, she's
everyone's fine. What? Why are we getting so? I mean, it's not their value.
She is the subject of.
But she was attractive at the time. That's
yeah.
so.
She's and everybody's like, "Whoa, babe alert!"
Yeah, well, that's the thing. People are like, "You're from a great family. You're a babe. What are you doing with this lanky dork?" He's just a lawyer who's like serving in the parliament. He's a no good for nothing lazy layabout. What are you doing? And she's like, you know, and I think that's maybe why Abraham might have broken it off. Apparently, some say he believed it sometimes. He's like, yeah, what does she see in me? What's going on?
He thought that maybe it was a practical joke.
Yeah, he thought it was like one of those things, you know, dinner for schmucks or weddings for schmucks or, you know, she's all that or whatever.
Yeah.
She's a schmuck.
She's all schmuck. She's all schmuck. So together they had 4 children, though only one lived into adulthood.
Oh.
Maybe that's because of the toad monkey thing.
Yeah, I don't know how genes work when you're crossbreeding like that.
In 1847, Abe headed back into politics.
I can't tell if Dave loved or hated that.
It was laughter, but I was suppressed because, oh dear.
In 1847, Abe headed back into politics, as Picotti writes. From 1847 to 1849, he served a single term in the U.S. House of Reps, and as a congressman, he spoke out against the Mexican-American War. This made him unpopular back home, and in the end, he didn't run for a second term, heading back to life as a lawyer instead. So yeah, I always thought there was more to his political career, but yeah, it sort of ended there. No, sorry. Hang on, there is a bit more. Sorry, just scrolled down a bit. There is more. There's a little more politics in his life. When in 1854, Congress repealed the Missouri Compromise, making way for individual states and territories to decide for themselves if slavery was allowed or not. And according to Picotti, the law provoked violent opposition in Kansas and Illinois, and it gave rise to today's Republican Party. This awakened Lincoln's political zeal once again, and his views on slavery moved more towards moral indignation. Lincoln joined the new Republican Party in 1856, as many other ex-Whigs did as well. The Whigs sort of fell away, but yeah, the Republican Party took on a lot of those old. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting how the Republicans started as, it seems like, you know, almost a radical sort of movement, and now they've become the Conservative Party. I don't know why I've started because I don't really know if that's the case or not. But I think I have heard that they sort of, the major parties did sort of switch sides a little bit at some point. Not that I think that of either of the major parties as being particularly radical or left or anything. They're both sort of centre right, aren't they? I don't know. Dave, help me out here. I'm drowning.
Sorry, mate. You're breaking up there. Got connection issues.
Back to Picotti. In 1857, the Supreme Court issued its controversial Dred Scott decision declaring black people were not citizens and had no inherent rights.
What the fuck?
Although Lincoln felt black people weren't equal to whites, he believed America's founders intended that all men were created with certain inalienable rights. So it's amazing. He's the guy who's like seen as, and it is, judging people's thoughts from 160, 170 years ago on today's standards and all that sort of stuff. But it is interesting that he didn't think black people and white people were actually equal.
Yes.
But anyway, Lincoln was drawn back into politics because he was still radically progressive in that way, even with that idea. He ran for the Senate, criticizing those who promoted slavery before famously declaring that a house divided cannot stand. Lincoln,
that makes sense if you picture like an actual house.
Yeah.
If you chop that in half.
Yeah, through the guts.
That can't stand.
No.
The house is going to fall
a
down.
strong breeze, and they get them over there. They get big
they get some
breezes
strong
over there.
breezes over there, yeah. Phew.
Really strong. Some willy willies.
Blustering.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get willy willies over there.
Yeah, they get big willy willies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bigger the better.
And now American listeners are Googling willy willy.
Yeah.
And that's pretty funny.
They probably call them Waldo Waldos. Or would it be Wildo Wildos? Lincoln was involved in a series of debates with sitting Senator Stephen Douglas, with slavery being the central topic. Though Douglas ended up winning the vote, the media coverage from the debates brought Lincoln wider exposure, helping him build his political profile. Now, when you picture Lincoln, what do you picture? What's his iconic look? What's something that maybe sits on top of his head?
His hat.
Yes!
A toad?
No, that's
his wife's face.
Then that's private time.
Well, that can sit wherever it wants in private time.
There's no photos of that, Dave.
Yeah, that's not appropriate to take photos of.
Dave, what? There's a sealed section in the presidential portrait area where the first ladies are sitting on the president's faces. And one day, the first husband will too.
Yeah.
I believe that as a feminist.
I believe that. The first gentleman.
Yes. Yeah, why did I say first husband?
The first husband.
This is my first husband. The first gentleman. That does sound silly, but first lady also does.
Just because you're not used to it.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll be like, oh, yeah, first gentleman, whatever. You won't think anything of it.
No, of course. But first lady does feel pretty silly too, don't you reckon?
Yeah.
The first lady.
We could come up with a better title, or just call her by her name would be fine.
In The Residence, have you checked out The Residence? I think you'd enjoy it.
Yes.
And in that, there's a first gentleman.
Yeah.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Indecision. Overthinking. Second-guessing every choice you make. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Beige on beige on beige. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
The hat. Let's talk about this frickin' hat, because this is really what I wanted to talk about today anyway. All of this has just been,
You've been talking for an hour 20.
Yeah, this is to get us to the hat.
Okay.
Now, let's chat hat. It's a new show idea I've got. Hat chat with Matt.
Love it.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
We get people in wearing their best hat. Mm-hmm. We chat about what it means to them.
Yep.
And then we'll talk about one hat from history.
Love that.
Yeah. This week.
Sorry, love hat.
Can you be my first guest?
Absolutely not. I'm busy.
I want to talk about your hat with the fairy bread on it.
Yeah, I'm busy. You just want that hat.
Do want that. And
it doesn't look good on me, and I refuse to give it up.
At the end of every episode of Chat and Hat with Matt, Hat Chat with Matt, I ask, can I have that hat? I think this could be really big. So, of the famous hat, Stephen L. Carter writes for the Smithsonian. Early in his political career, historians tell us Lincoln probably chose the hat as a gimmick. In those days, he was rarely seen without his stovepipe, which is the style of hat. The traditional 7 or 8 inch high hat the gentleman had been wearing since early in the century.
7 or 8 inches, and he's already 6'4".
Yeah, it's a really interesting choice. I think that's why it's sort of like a gimmick. It's like really accentuating his height.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. They say, true, Lincoln's version was often battered a bit, as if hard worn, an affectation perhaps intended to suit his frontier image. So this is all part of his image a bit. I grew up in a cabin. I'm from the country. I'm a real dude. I could have a beer at the pub. The kind of thing that Australian politicians try to do. But I think he was more legit.
They do that by wearing an Akubra one time.
And a high-vis vest. They go
R.M.
visit
Williams. They're like, yeah, I'm a man. I'm still in my $400 shirt, but I'm wearing jeans with it.
Yeah. And the R.M. Williams are also like, very expensive boots.
Yeah. But the thing with them, mate, you buy them once, you look after them, you got them for life.
You might have
it's an investment.
change the heels.
Change the heel.
sole and the heel.
That'll last you
yeah.
6 or 7 years,
You'd
mate.
be passing them down
that.
to your kids. Mate.
Absolutely right, mate. Same with the Akubra. You look after that.
Yeah, mate. And the Dryzer bone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Of course I got a bloody Dryzer bone.
Yeah, of course I got a Dryzer bone.
I'm a country
mate.
bloke.
Yeah. Mate, I'm bloody... Back where I come from, they call me the man from Snowy River 2. He's back and he's snowier than ever. That's what they call me back
That's
home.
what they call me. It's a long nickname, but I appreciate it.
I'll shorten it to Snowy.
Yep.
Or Toozy.
Yeah, Toozy.
Sometimes they call me Toozy. Just seeing a politician spiral at our doorstep.
And I've definitely been to the rural area.
I've been outside before. There's no doubt about that. I know what a tree looks like. I can point one out anyway. Show me a lineup of things. I'll tell you which one's a tree.
which one's a tree, which one isn't a tree.
Yeah.
I know.
Is it that one? That's a pole, sir. Yeah, I was only joking. Don't you get it? They don't get humour anymore.
I've seen a horse before. No worries at all. I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, they're those ones with the oink, right? Yeah.
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 Yeah. Anyway, Carter goes on.
Dave, are you having fun?
I'm having so much fun over here.
You're watching the show. Welcome to the big show, Dave. The reformer Carl Schurz later recalled his first meeting with Lincoln in a railroad car in the 1850s on the way to one of the future president's debates with Stephen Douglas. Schurz described Lincoln's tailcoat as shabby and his top hat as crumpled, giving him what one historian has called a look of unassuming simplicity. But this is my favourite line.
So great to have like a what we see now is like a formal top hat, and they're like, God, this guy's one of us.
So unassuming,
yeah.
Especially so tall, making him even taller. Just so unassuming. Just a humble man with
wouldn't even notice this guy who's now 7'2". Wouldn't even notice him.
This is my favourite line from Carter. No other president is so firmly connected in our imaginations with an item of haberdashery.
Oh, that's beautiful. Haberdashery is such a fun word,
It's such a great word. I love it so much. It's my favourite thing when I used to work at the supermarket and people asked where something was. I'd be like, just go down aisle 2, haberdashery. There's this little section of, I don't even know what it means, but, thread and stuff, I guess.
So fun.
Haberdashery.
Haberdashery.
Oh, yeah, one day I might maybe read a book on haberdashery. I might become a haberdasher. I don't know. Maybe I will.
And that's up to me.
That's up to me, and I'll make that choice. And I don't want to hear anything more about it. Anywho, that's a bit about his hat. I'll talk more about his hat. Don't worry about that. Anywho, his impressive work.
Will the report be called Abraham Lincoln's hat?
Yeah, and other tales.
He also wore tails.
Yes, I'm going to talk about his other iconic part of his look soon, his beard. But before we get there, we got to get him elected as president. And don't worry, I'm not going to go into it too much. His impressive work in the debates with Douglas and the profile it built led to a push for him to run as the Republican Party presidential candidate. And he ended up being successful at this. Like, he's come from the clouds, really.
Yeah.
He won the nomination over William Seward from New York, and maybe one of my all-time favourite names. This guy's from Ohio, Salmon P. Chase.
Your name can't be Salmon.
What? Could anything be a name back there? What do we have Ninian before? Now we're Salmon.
I can't believe that I've heard something I hate more than Ninian.
Oh, I love it. You hate it.
Salmon.
But even,
I'm not a big fish eater.
What about P. Chase? Like, Jess P. Chase. Like, P. Chase is pretty...
P. Chase.
P is the middle initial.
He's chasing P.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Salmon P as well.
But, so were you like only...
swimming upstream with his mouth open.
We're only 2 steps away from having a president salmon.
Yeah, I don't enjoy that.
That's, come on. We've missed a trick there.
But if that happened, it probably would have become a more popular name, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's true. There's so many baby Abrahams now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there are. Well, not now, but there were.
And little baby Donald.
There would have been.
Little baby Baracks.
Yeah.
So many of them.
I bet you there's more than there were.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah,
that's actually probably true. But yeah, there's some great names for presidents. There's
I think
Millard is her first name, Millard Fillmore,
wow.
and Ulysses S. Grant. Like, these are great names.
Yeah, that is a great name. They love a middle initial over there in America, don't you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it? Maybe should we start doing that?
I reckon it depends on the initial.
Yeah.
Because my middle initial's A. It doesn't really work as well.
Just get A. Perkins.
I feel like J's a good one. Both of you have got
David
J's.
J. Warnocky. That's good. Really
That's good.
Matthew J. Stewart.
That's good.
Okay.
I think J.
When I'm representing myself in court, that's what I'm going to refer to myself
Matthew J.
as.
Stewart. But like Jessica A. Perkins, not that good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's sort of like saying, A is already a word.
It's boring. I think there's
And
certain
it's a
initials
word
that
that
work.
is very vague.
Yeah.
A Perkins.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a
she's
Perkins.
A.
I'm A.
Perkins.
Perkins.
That's true.
Do you want me to be more specific about which Perkins I am? No, I won't.
No.
I'm A. Perkins.
I'm
Get
A.
over
Perkins.
It.
That's it.
Get over it.
Okay? That's all you need to know. You're on a need-to-know basis.
That's right.
And you do not need to know.
You don't need to know. Fuck you.
I want to write a movie one day that has that line in it. I think it's about time it came back. I reckon
Yeah.
it was in every movie in the 90s.
Need to know basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it back.
Bring it back. So, yeah, he somehow he beat Salmon P. Chase.
That's so great. So great.
The presidential election was he later, when he won the election, he brought Salmon P. Chase into his cabinet as well, as William Seward as well. A few of his political enemies he brought in. Apparently, this was just shrewd politics from him. You know, kind of keeping your enemies close, but also just helping keep broader stability by having, more people involved, different points of views and stuff.
Is that where the phrase "keep your friends close, keep the salmon even closer" comes from?
Yes. I think that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Yep. I always thought it was from bears, but no, it was from Lincoln.
They learn from the best.
Yes, that's right. He once fought a man who was as strong as a bear. So
It's true.
makes sense. The presidential election was a four-way race with one of his competitors, again being Stephen Douglas, the guy who he did all these famous debates with, which really built up his profile. The other two guys were John C. Breckinridge of the Northern Democrats and John Bell of the Constitution Party. But this time he was able to turn the result around on Election Day, 6th of November, 1860, and he won. He actually only won a little under 40% of the popular vote, but he won a majority of the electoral college votes, the system that I'll throw over to Dave to explain.
It's a perfect system.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably can't or don't need to say any more than
Yeah,
that.
that helps.
Perfect system.
Straightforward. It's what you'd imagine it to be.
Yeah.
It's the one where everyone, and I mean everyone, gets what they want.
Yeah. Which is rare.
That's
Yeah.
hard. It's
It's hard to do, so it's nice when you see people really perfect it.
Yes. And it's so straightforward. It'd be hard to explain because that's how straightforward it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's how he became the 16th president of the United States of America. God bless America.
God
everyone.
bless. Wow. 16. Beautiful.
And did you know, I didn't, this was the point where he grew his famous beard.
Oh, was it like
Was it a dare?
The guy at my high school in year 7 that said, if you vote for me as school captain, I'll grow an afro. He said, if you vote for me, I will grow a ridiculous chin strap beard. And it worked for the guy in my high school, and it worked for Abraham Lincoln.
I think it could have been. Yeah, it could have been. According to Susanna Kerber, the chief curator at the Indiana State Museum, which word did I say weird? A few of them.
Curator.
Well, that's how. I think in Indiana, that's how they say curator. And I wanted to get it accurate to how Susanna Kerber would say it
Yeah,
herself.
thank you. I was being a bit elitist there.
Elitist?
Great.
Well, I think you were being, just a little bigoted, a little
bit ignorant there.
ignorant.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I apologize for that.
Or as they would say in Indiana, ignorant. Yeah, the chief curator saying, the story starts with an 11-year-old girl named Grace Bedell from Westfield, New York. This makes sense. You go, how did Abraham Lincoln end up growing a chin strap beard? Well, it probably starts with an 11-year-old girl from New York, I guess.
That's usually where
but
I
then
think, yeah.
What happens after that, though?
Yes, yeah.
Well, Grace wrote to Lincoln on the 15th of October, 1860 and said, in part...
Please grow a beard. Please grow a beard.
That's pretty much it, Dave. She wrote, quote, I've got 4 brothers. And I should do it in a 11-year-old voice. I've got 4 brothers, and a part of them will vote for you anyway. And if you will let your whiskers grow, I will try and get the rest of them to vote for you too. You would look great. You would look a great deal better, for your face is so thin. All the ladies like whiskers, and they would tease their husbands to vote for you, and then you would be president. Lincoln wrote back on the 19th of October. What a weird letter from an 11-year-old.
An 11-year-old girl is like, your face looks fucked without a beard. And if you get a beard, I reckon that's what I could push my brothers to vote for you. And then probably some wives will do the same.
Yeah.
You know what we're like, nags.
We'll nag you into the Oval Office. So then, just a few days later, he wrote back saying, having never worn any, do you not think people would call it a piece of silly affection if I were to begin it now? Interesting question.
You can't change your look.
Yeah, it's like, what, a bit weird.
Yeah, mid-campaign type thing. Yeah, it's a weird time. You got to commit.
But silly affection, or when he says affection, I'm thinking like affectation. But
Yeah,
those words
that would
similar.
make sense.
Yeah. But anyway, later that fall and winter, Lincoln grew a beard, and by January the 13th, so over a few months, the newly elected president had bearded up. Lincoln showed off his new face to the public when he left Springfield, Illinois for Washington, D.C. on his famous train trip prior to his inauguration. In February of 1861, his train stopped in New York, where Lincoln met young Grace Bedell and told her, "You see, I let these whiskers grow for you, Grace."
Oh, wow.
Both Grace's letter to Lincoln and his reply still exist.
That's cool.
In separate collections, but yeah.
And then she sees it. She's like,
No, that's not quite what I had pictured.
Yeah, I think maybe we scrap that and start again.
Yeah. Do you think she was like, oh, get rid of that mustache part? That's weird.
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was Grace the sole reason for the beard? Cuba, the curator, or whatever I called her before, she's not so sure, saying, he may have been tired of shaving. He may have been considering it already, but he knew good political theatre when he saw it. And then, this article in Smithsonian does a quick overview of presidents with facial hair, and apparently it's pretty rare. Prior to Lincoln, John Quincy Adams, another great name, had big puffy sideburns. Martin Van Buren and Zachary Taylor had sideburns, but not full beards. And after Lincoln, Chester A. Arthur, Grover Cleveland, and Theodore Roosevelt had mustaches. Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, and James A. Garfield had beards, as did Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd president. But he was the last.
Oh,
It's been a
wow.
long time, the tradition of clean-shaven presidents.
Oh, my God. But what, like a few of those guys shot?
Yeah, maybe that was why they said it's
Do you think
bad
that's
luck.
Oh, my gosh.
Didn't save a couple, though. A couple of clean skins. But, they were Catholic, so maybe that's it. You can't be Catholic or have facial hair. Then you should be good. Although Trump is clean shaven.
Huh.
But he's not Catholic, is he?
Don't think so.
I think he's pretty Christian, though. I think he definitely lives by the golden rule. Anyhow, by the time of Lincoln's inauguration, many southern states had seceded from the Union, and soon after that, the U.S. Civil War kicked off, which was a pretty big deal, something that I will skip over, as I assume one day we'll get around to doing it as an actual episode, surely. But what
That feels like a Dave.
Yeah, that could be a Dave.
Oh, I thought it was a Jess.
Yeah, you're right. I'm good at covering things I don't understand.
I've done wars in the past. I probably would, as the oldest man here, that is sort of meant to be
You
what
lived
we
through
do.
it.
Yeah, that's right. You did
Old
World
men
War
love
One.
war.
They love watching SBS documentaries
Yeah.
about war.
I enjoyed learning about war in high school, but I think I just stopped understanding anything but past a year 9 level.
Right. Yes.
Explaining it like you're explaining
Did you
it to
put
a
on
child.
weight around the time? Because that could have been why. just wondering. I think of you as a friend, but also I kind of think of you as a bit of a patient.
An unfixable patient.
Ugh, I'll solve this puzzle one day. So, yeah, I won't talk about it too much, but there's a couple of moments that are pretty famous, like when Lincoln delivered the Emancipation Proclamation on the 1st of January, 1863. According to Picotti, Emancipation Proclamation stated that all individuals who were held in as enslaved people in rebellious states henceforward shall be free. The action was more symbolic than effective because the North didn't control any states in the rebellion, obviously, and the proclamation didn't apply to border states, Tennessee, or some Louisiana parishes. Still, the Emancipation Proclamation did have some immediate impact. It permitted Black Americans to serve in the Union Army for the first time, which contributed to the eventual Union victory, and the historic declaration also paved the way for the passage of the 13th Amendment that ended legal slavery in the United States. The proclamation's mandate only properly took hold after Lincoln's Union side of the conflict took the opposing Confederates' territory. Obviously, they couldn't enforce it until they were down there. And that meant in some parts of western Texas, it didn't happen for another 2.5 years. And then on the 19th of June, 1865, it finally happened. And this date is still celebrated as Juneteenth, or Emancipation Day, and since 2021 has become a national holiday. I'd heard of Juneteenth, but I didn't know what it was about. Another of Lincoln's iconic moments in the war was the Gettysburg Address, which happened on the 19th of November, 1863. But Lincoln wasn't the only one to speak that day in front of the crowd of 15,000 people. According to Britannica, do you know much about the Gettysburg Address? That's
four score and 7 years ago, isn't that one?
Yeah.
But 15,000, are they having any sort of vocal amplification going on back then? Or is it
Great
literally...
point.
I think he spoke from his diaphragm.
Yeah. He was a WWE wrestler, so they're pretty
Yeah.
rad.
He's projecting. Yeah, the Gettysburg Address is like, it's... Have you been to the Lincoln Monument in DC, Dave?
No, have not been to DC.
It's like on the wall
I've
there as well. You can
seen it
in movies.
In one movie, the remake of Planet of the Apes, where the Abraham Lincoln statue is a big reveal at the end. Spoiler alert.
I was going to go home and watch that movie. Now it's ruined.
The whole movie, it was so they could do an Abraham Lincoln pun. That's awesome.
Yeah. I guess I'll just go watch Sixth Sense instead.
I believe the story is that the studio was like... Oh, Jess, I got something to tell you briefly. But I've never seen it. It was spoiled before I saw it, so I've never got it. I've just never seen it. I'm hoping I'll forget one day and I can watch The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, no, it's spoiled before I've seen it.
But apparently the studio were like, the big thing about the original Planet of the Apes was the big reveal that it was Earth all along with the Statue of Liberty. So they're like, we need another big reveal.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was their attempt at it, but it ended up, being a symbol of how ridiculous and how it didn't quite work as a film. But it's still fun. I actually saw that in our state's, our country's capital, Canberra.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, so Lincoln wasn't the first to speak. The main address at this ceremony, according to Britannica, was a 2-hour speech delivered by Edward Everett. A 2-hour speech.
Wow.
Man, I'm yawning thinking about that. He was the best-known orator at the time. Orator. And I'm probably the best-known orator of our time.
Well, you've been speaking for nearly 2 hours.
Britannica says, steeped in the tradition of ancient Greek oratory. How do you say it? What is that? Anyway, Everett's speech was some 13,000 words long, but he delivered it without notes.
What?
Which is
Why
crazy.
write it out?
Off the dome.
And unfortunately for Lincoln, he followed that.
Fuck
You'd
me.
want to be on first, wouldn't you?
13,000 words. Sometimes it takes us 2 hours to get through 3,000 words.
To be fair, he probably didn't have two people interrupting being like, haha, that sounds like a funny word.
Yeah.
God, imagine how efficient we could be.
Yeah.
15-minute episodes.
The podcast we could have been. So, yeah, Lincoln was up next. Don't envy him. But he did follow, and he did it in a very brief 272 words. In a speech that would become his most famous, and maybe even one of the most famous speeches of all time. I think a lot of us probably know the 7 years ago bit. Only I don't think I knew for a long time that score meant 20 years. It always just sounded like gibberish. But Britannica says the short speech has become known as, quote, one of the classic utterances of all time, a masterpiece of prose poetry.
Wow.
And on the day following the ceremony, Everett, the first speaker who did the 2-hour speech, wrote to Lincoln saying, quote, I wish that I could flatter myself that I had come as near to the central idea of the occasion in 2 hours as you did in 2 minutes.
Wow.
Which is super high praise.
But also embarrassing. You just talked for 2 hours. This guy gets up 2 minutes and everyone goes, fuck, that was way better.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
It would be like, being there when you're playing folk music on stage and then Bob Dylan comes in and plugs in his guitar and you go, oh, yeah, that's actually better.
Yeah.
We should all probably amplify our sound a bit.
I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
Or like a hair metal band opening for Nirvana. And we're going, oh, no.
Oh, dear.
I think things are changing in our genre.
Yeah.
So, I think it's interesting that Lincoln's most famous moments are mainly speeches, now that we know he was basically an undefeatable wrestler. You can only assume that the war would have been over quicker if he just took on the enemy one by one. Line them up.
Turned to the camera and said, now watch this wrestle.
He's just throwing them 12 feet at a time. There's just a pile of them.
Yeah. A pile of Confederacies. Pile of dunces. No, what's that? What's the something of dunces?
A confederacy of dunces.
Yeah, so it was almost something there.
Yeah.
Almost.
So, yes, even in office, he pulled off the occasional feat of strength, according to historian Doris Kearns Goodwin. Once, as the presidential party lounged on the deck, Lincoln playfully demonstrated that in muscular power, he was 1 in 1,000, possessing the strength of a giant. He picked up an axe and held it at arm's length at the extremity of the handle with his thumb and forefinger. Continuing to hold it for a number of minutes, the most powerful sailors on board tried in vain to imitate him, but failed. You picture that?
He's just holding an axe
Holding
like
an axe
that.
with two thumb and forefinger.
That's weird.
For
Weird
minutes.
Yeah. That's hectic strength.
And I was like, Mr. President, what are you doing?
Sorry, Mr. President.
Sorry, Mr. President. Sorry, silly question. What the fuck are you doing?
What the hell is
We've got
going
What's going
on?
on here?
You
Holding
have
up an axe?
You've got a very important job. This is tough to do.
Yeah.
He's just like, give me a minute.
Just showing how much I can hold up this axe. Nothing weird about that. Anyway, back to the main story today, his hat. As Carter writes, Lincoln's stovepipe hat made him an easy mark for caricaturists, and many drawings have survived in which the hat is the viewer's means for identifying him. But the cartoonists are not the only ones who found it easy to spot the 16th president in his hat. In August of 1864, Lincoln was on horseback on his way to the Soldiers' Home about 3 miles northeast of the White House, where he had the use of a stone cottage in the summer months. A would-be assassin fired from near the road, shooting the stovepipe off Lincoln's head.
Whoa.
Soldiers who found it said there was a bullet hole through the crown, and this incident gave rise to the popular notion that the hat saved Lincoln's life. The better surmise is that the hat made Lincoln an easy target to spot in the crowd. It didn't save his life. It actually made him easier for someone to have a shot at.
But does it make the gunman think that, well, that's his hat? Well, his head's got to be all the way up.
Yeah. This man's an Aggie.
What kind of freak show do you think's under that hat?
Got him right in the middle of his egg brain. No wonder he can do all those great speeches with a big egghead like that. In July of 1864, at the Battle of Fort Stevens, he stood in the battlements wearing his trademark hat, making him, in Carl Sandburg's phrase, too tall a target for the Confederates until warned by a Union officer to get down. He was just standing up in the middle of a war zone.
Sit down.
With it, may as well have a target on his bloody head.
It's like standing in the trenches of World War I and there's just the hat poking over the edge.
Lincoln won a second term as president, this time receiving 55% of the popular vote. He was worried that he was going to struggle to get in. It was troubled times and things were pretty hectic, but he increased his vote by quite a bit. and took out 212 of the 243 electoral colleges or whatever, as Dave explained before.
Yeah.
Perfect system.
He was inaugurated on the 4th of March, 1865. But of course, as fate would have it, and as we talked about in much greater detail in episode 69, he was not able to see out his term. And yeah,
What happened?
Why?
bit of a
What
spoiler
happened?
warning. He was assassinated by a guy called John Wilkes Booth.
What?
Well, that sounds interesting. You going to tell us about that?
Yeah, in episode 69. Nice.
And we'll hit play on that now.
Okay. And then after that, in episode 417, you can hear about his funeral and the plot to steal his body. But very briefly, as Picotti writes, Lincoln was assassinated on the 14th of April, 1865 by well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theatre in Washington. Lincoln was taken to the Peterson house across the street and laid in a coma for 9 hours before dying the next morning. He was 56. His death was mourned by millions of citizens in the North and South alike. The hat
Was he
was
wearing
wearing...
a hat at the time?
Oh my God, Dave. You better believe it.
It was
Dave,
like,
what are we here to talk about?
What's the whole point of today?
But I was
Obviously,
like-
that hat was only a few days short of retirement.
and at first, John Wilkes Booth thought he missed because he's like, oh no, I missed
shot
his
below
head.
the hat.
Shot below the hat.
So the hat he was wearing the night of the assassination is now kept at the Smithsonian. According to the Smithsonian, he didn't just have one hat; he had a few different hats, and they don't have all the information about where he got it or whatever. But this specific hat, it was donated to the Smithsonian in 1867 by Joseph Henry. It was donated to them, but Joseph Henry, who was the secretary of the Smithsonian at the time, ordered his staff not to exhibit the hat under any circumstance and not to mention the matter to anyone on account of there being too much excitement at the time. He's like, don't let anyone know we got the hat. People will go crazy. There'll be a stampede if people knew
We'll
there was a
have
hat
way
here.
too many visitors.
People will there'll be a crush. People will die.
People will die to
Just
see this hat.
Have a look at this hat.
Yeah.
This hat's killed before and it'll kill again.
So it was immediately placed in a basement storage room. The American public did not see that hat for decades until 1893, when the Smithsonian lent it to an exhibition hosted by the Lincoln Memorial Association. And today it is one of the institution's most treasured objects, according to the Smithsonian themselves.
Wow.
And I'm going to finish on, I haven't done this a while, it's a fact. We'll see if it's fun or not.
I'll decide.
I think it's interesting. David can tell if it's dull or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Jess can tell us if it's fun or not. Here we go. This was actually sent through to Who Knew It with Matt Stewart from Caroline Ruck from Collingswood in New Jersey. And Caroline writes, Samuel Seymour was just 5 years old when he attended the Ford Theatre with his nurse and godmother sitting in the balcony across from President Lincoln. When John Wilkes Booth jumped from the balcony to the stage, the young Samuel was worried about him because he hurt himself, not realizing that he just shot the president. 2 months before Samuel's death, he appeared on the television show I've Got a Secret, and you can view the video on YouTube. But so he lived. He was the last person alive who saw the death, and he lived until 1956, I think.
Wow.
Whoa.
Jess, what do you think? Fun or not
That's
fun?
end of fact.
That's
that
end
he
of
was
fact.
on a TV show.
Yeah, but he lived to it's kind of, I thought it was wild that a guy who was living in the 1950s
Yeah.
saw the Lincoln assassination. That just seemed like one of those, but no.
Nah, it's not that fun.
Dave,
I thought it was like halfway through and it was going to be like, and he was also there when JFK died or something like that.
Okay, I'm sorry, Caroline. I don't think they like your fact.
Something on Caroline. I think it was the delivery.
We
Really,
really appreciate
It just felt like
your
half a
support.
fact.
it was half a fact.
Like the delivery. I think it was made the delivery. Caroline, you're rocking awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Matt, you suck, and there's a lot of improvement you could make, but Caroline is perfect.
Okay. Well, I thought it was a good fact.
Yeah, but that's not how this works. This works by you tell us the fact and I tell you if it's fun or not. And I just said it's not fun. It doesn't mean it's not good. Doesn't mean it doesn't have other adjectives that would work for it. It just wasn't fun.
1956. Last surviving person to see.
Yeah, so? What year did Lincoln die again?
1865.
1865.
Yeah, okay. So, and this kid lived a long time.
Yeah. And he was on a TV show just before he died where they had to guess his secret.
And his secret was that he had seen
Lincoln get killed. That would have been surprising.
At the end, they all say, that's a boring secret.
No, at that time, that could have been, like you said, a surprise or interesting. I still don't think I'd be like, fun! You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think you would say that. This child's whole life would have been affected by seeing a murder, but
True.
So in that way, it's probably grim fact. But I really appreciate Caroline getting in touch with that fact.
Once again, nothing on Caroline.
Well,
We've said Caroline's perfect.
Doesn't feel that you really believe that. I think you're using me as a conduit, but really your disdain is for Caroline Ruck from Collingswood,
Fine.
New Jersey.
Caroline, that was dull. Do better next time.
No, Caroline submitted that.
Caroline.
Submitted that to Who Knew It, not to the Fun Fact Society. Just saying.
Exactly. It's not my place.
Okay. That's the end of the report.
Well done.
Maybe we'll just cut that in post if that wasn't a good way to finish. I'm so sorry, Caroline, if this did make it in. I'm so sorry that my friends talked about you like that and disrespected you like that because I thought it was a beautiful fact.
I think you should go back and listen to the tape because I
agree with that.
Never said anything against Caroline.
It is a beautiful fact. It's just not a fun fact in Jess's terms.
Yes. But was it a dull fact, Dave? Because that was what you decide, isn't it?
No, it wasn't dull.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dave's not being such an asshole. It's just Jess.
Yeah.
Jess.
Yeah.
Have your moods been a bit off? Could you step on these scarves? Yes. No. I mean, what was the most surprising to you about his hat? No, about him. The wrestling to me was wild that he's like the Wrestling Association have him in the Hall of Fame has him like listed as a
so interesting. And then
that's
self-taught lawyer.
Surely that's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, self-taught lawyer is so
really
funny.
Interesting. Didn't know much about his life. Know heaps about Mary Todd Lincoln because I saw the play Oh Mary in New York, which is I mean, technically it's Mary Todd Lincoln, but Cole Escola, the writer, has said they did no research.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's
very funny.
That's funny. It's a comedy.
Oh, yeah. It's
right.
so funny. So it's probably the best thing I've ever seen. It was so good. It was amazing. It's so funny.
Whoa, but have you seen this rock?
Oh, my God!
Yeah. Yeah. I assumed you hadn't seen it.
He's just doing this, Dave.
I saw him pick up air. I could see it. He just picked up a bit of air.
Very funny.
That's funny stuff. I'd love to know if there's anyone out there who's going to do the triptych and go back and in order listen to the life, the death, and of course the funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funeral and the body
stealing.
attempted body snatch, and maybe then the Pinkerton episode.
Yeah,
that's
just do it all.
Do the quad.
Obviously, he's got a lot of honours, Lincoln. But one of the biggest honours surely has got to be that out of three out of 500 episodes of Do Go On are dedicated solely to him. Like, no one else in history can claim that. It's awesome.
No. Should I do another Dolly episode? I feel like
well, you could do a Dollywood specific one. Maybe.
Yeah. We definitely talked about Dollywood.
Wait,
yeah.
Well, probably once she's assassinated, you could do a whole thing about that. What? Wait, isn't that how she'll?
Absolutely not.
Can't see that happening somehow.
No.
I don't think she has any enemies.
No.
But if they did, they'd probably shoot through one of her wigs anyway.
Yeah, should be fine.
Yeah. She wears some high hair.
Yep.
Well, my best friends, I think this is time for everyone's favourite section of the show. Is that fair to say?
Dave
all of
laughed.
That?
Dave laughed when you called us your best friends.
No, I just want to...
I'd love to unpack that a little bit.
No, I'd just like to tick off that whole section. We say, are we ready? Are we, when they slide in an amendment in a bill?
Yeah.
So, are we all ready for the next part? And you both agree you're my best friend? So, you okay with all of that?
Yeah,
Dave, any
sure.
objections? It seemed like you had an objection.
No. You should have seen the look of satisfaction on my face when someone called me a best friend.
Oh, okay. Satisfaction looks funny on you.
Yeah, it looks like
you've never been satisfied in your life.
Looks like smug pity.
Well, both are correct.
Anyway, everyone's favourite section of the show. We all agree we're best friends. And this is where we thank some of our great Patreon supporters. If you want to be one of them, you can sign up at patreon.com/2goonpod. There's a bunch of different levels. Jess, what are some of those levels?
Those levels include... I'm never the one to do this bit.
They're all like in-joke titles, but that happened in the first, 100 episodes.
Yeah. So we've forgotten them. So you got the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe level.
Yes.
We've got the DB Cooper level.
The Dreamboat Cooper level. Ask
Prod, and various rewards across those different tiers. So you can vote on topics. You get early access to tickets to live shows or live streams.
Live show wasn't that? That was... a big chunk of that was sold in the pre-sale before it even went public.
Absolutely. And we do 4 bonus episodes a month. So that's a lot of content.
Yes, and of course access into everyone's favourite corner of the internet. Where you get exclusive posts like today I posted a Facebook memory of when I watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That went out exclusively to the Patreons.
Yeah. If that appeals to you, firstly, join Patreon and get on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Secondly, I would Google therapist near me.
Yeah, because you gotta tell someone about how cool you and your mind is.
Yep.
And they're the best people to tell.
That's right.
They
cool can help you.
Can I just book in for a brag sesh?
Just wanted to brag for a bit.
Speaking of brags, this next section of the show can sometimes include a brag. It's the fact, quote, or question section. So if you're on the Sydney Scheinberg level or above, you get to be involved in this. This section actually has a little jingle, goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
He always remembers the ding. She always remembers the sing. And in this section, you get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever you like. I'll read out 4 on the show. I don't read them out beforehand as well, just to give myself an excuse for mispronouncing words, or if they've said anything crook. If it's still in, and you're listening to this at home, that's AJ, the editor's fault.
Yeah.
He's deemed this fine, not me.
Humphrey will bark every time he thinks AJ's being slandered.
Okay.
I know. I tell him, don't say anything rude to AJ, but he just keeps barking. It's crazy.
Yeah. Humphrey is not happy. I love AJ.
I might just let him out. Because obviously we're going to say a lot more stuff about AJ and it's not going to work.
Okay. Okay, great. He's gone now, Jess.
He got up and walked away from his computer for a second. I don't think you saw it. He's not wearing pants.
Ah.
He's working pantsless.
I thought he was wearing tan chinos, as he often will.
He is Winnie the Poohing to work, and I think that's very inappropriate.
Oh, well, I appreciate the colour in his legs. I could only dream of tan chino coloured legs.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be nice?
Tan? My God, man. How does he do that? Because he's quite pale elsewhere.
Oh, it'd be artificial.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, he gets a weekly spray tan day.
Maybe that's why the pants are off today. He's letting it dry.
You got to.
Yeah.
That stuff will transfer.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Which probably doesn't affect him so bad because he wears tan pants.
Yeah. It's odd that he tans only his legs, but you do
obviously,
you.
Yeah, he's getting ready for maybe someone special to check it out.
I think we should just confront him though that, although he is working remotely today, he is still working.
Yes, and pants are not optional.
Pants are not optional, and if you're gonna go pantsless, make sure your colleagues can't see you.
Yeah, this isn't a bottomless brunch here, okay?
No.
This is work.
Okay.
And although you are working it...
Oh my God, yes, he looks fantastic. But it's
just
not the time or the place.
The time, not the place. But yeah, fantastic.
Mm.
I knew he had golden tonsils. Didn't know he had buns of steel.
Yeah. He's deceptive.
The man is more metal than man.
Yes.
I shouldn't say man first because it really sort of...
Do you want to try again?
Yeah. The boy is more metal than man. That's boy and
Just
man.
say Dave.
Dave is more metal than man.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's good to workshop these things, I
think so.
See?
Anyway.
He's just come back. Unbelievable.
And, yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm sure
Not
that
even
you
a
stopped
modesty
the podcast
sock.
and haven't talked about me at all.
We're just letting the listeners know how you're not wearing any pants, but you do tan your legs.
Yes.
and not the rest of you.
But
And
it is
you-
an optical illusion. I can get away with it. Plausible deniability.
Well, yeah, I thought you were wearing pants, but Jess said there was one thing that suggested otherwise. Pants don't normally have a chop.
Yeah. And good luck chanting your chop. It's difficult.
So we're up to the fact, quote, or question section. We'll be fascinated to know if AJ left that in or not. Maybe you'll pop it at the end. I guess this is the end, isn't it?
It's all the end.
We're all marching inevitably towards it, aren't we? So, fact, quote, question. The first one up this week comes from Evan Mers, aka, and they all get to give themselves a title, aka official amateur Egyptologist. Oh, Dave, coming for your crown.
Love that. Love it so much.
And Evan is offering a fact, writing, the system for naming the pharaohs of Egypt is called the royal titulary. The names evolved as a way of connecting leaders with the gods, with prior rulers, and with their own mission. The names had 5 parts called the Horus name, the Nebdi name, and the Gold Falcon name, the Throne name, and the Son of Ra, or Ra name.
Wow.
Royal titulary is freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sounds like a fun name for a nipple cripple.
Yes.
Royal titulary. That's got to be in the WWE Hall of Fame for best moves.
Yeah. Is the nipple cripple, that was a WWE move? Is that where it's from?
Well, no, but I think they'd take it to the next level and make it royal, you know? Like they'd get you know.
Oh, no, he can't. Whoa, he's not going to pull out his move. Oh, he is. He's going for the nipples.
Oh, my God, he did his famous move. I didn't think he'd do it.
We're due to do another WWE.
WWE. We're due to do WWE.
Should we do an episode about double Ds? Some
Fat naturals.
Fat naturals. Fat nats. Yeah. I missed that episode about the fat nats, which I'm ashamed of. I should have been
should
there
be.
because
As a feminist of the pod.
yeah, and mine are growing, so I feel like it's only a matter of years before I hit double D. But anyway, what do you think about that fact, Dave? As an Egyptologist yourself,
I love it. I wasn't aware of the 5 names. That's really
yeah,
cool.
so good. I love it.
Yeah, I
thank
love
you so much,
Ancient Egypt.
Evan,
Is there anything cooler?
we got to do a live episode over there someday in front of
In ancient Egypt. I agree.
the technology. Can't be far away.
What do you mean?
Can't be.
Have you got a hold of it?
You can go to ancient Egypt.
Really?
Is that not a place?
Are you? I've got. Yeah, I knew though. Are they up to the beta testing? Time traveling?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
I reckon
yeah.
we should get into
And
it.
I won't be doing that because I'm an alpha.
Yeah, that's
So I'll
right.
be waiting for the alpha
Yeah,
testing.
yeah. Dave's Sigma, so he'll be taking his own car as well. I don't really know what any of that means, but the next one comes from Sophie Tudor, aka Group Mum, and under where you can write fact, quote, or question or whatever. Sophie's written just a bit of chat.
Love it.
Oh.
Writing, hey, I want to start this by thanking Gary J from the UK and everyone in the F book group, which interesting.
fuck book?
The fuck book group.
I think that's what it was originally called, wasn't it?
The fuck book group. Yeah, actually, yeah. For wishing me a happy Mother's Day. It genuinely brought a lump to my throat. I didn't celebrate it last year as it was so soon after losing Penelope, but I have other children, including all the patrons, who deserve to celebrate me. I've been fairly quiet in the group so far this year, but life is getting a little less stressful, and Gaddy's post has pushed me to announce a long overdue swap, which is Sophie's the king of the swaps. So
Beautiful.
in the past, we've done, what have we done? Like t-shirt
T-shirts,
swaps.
snacks,
Yes.
Magnet.
all sorts of things. Magnet swaps, yeah.
Sophie continues, Matt asked me to do this swap, and I told him I'd post it about in January. Sorry, Matt. Don't worry, Sophie. I've forgotten about this. Curious to see where this goes. Although he was a fair few beers deep
Okay.
when he requested it, so he might not remember. Sophie, you know me.
Yeah.
But anyway, on the day I hear this, I will post in the Facebook group. Hat swap. I remember it now. I think that's a great idea because I was telling Sophie
yeah.
how we're going to start doing caps, like little cord caps in the style of my sort of Vegemite hat or or the Comedy Republic jokes hat.
Mm-hmm.
I love those ones. What do you think about that? I know I'm throwing.
Well, you've just said we're doing it.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? What do I think about it?
Well,
I assume you're already in conversation about production and you've come up with the design and
yeah. I thought we'd go like super minimalist. Just the words "do" go on a cord hat. What do you think about that? I have looked up some options, but I probably do need your help. Anyway, Sophie finishes by saying, "Can't wait to be celebrated again on the US/Australian Mother's Day in May and to see what you all get me. Love to all. Now go tidy your rooms and put your clean clothes away, please." Sophie, group mom.
That's really one task that I hate doing.
Putting clothes away.
Yes,
Isn't that funny?
I fucking hate it.
It's
and I
like-
love clean sheets, but changing the sheets
Yes,
is always like,
it's
oh.
It's the best. It's one of life's simple pleasures.
I love clean sheets.
But it's such a chore to do.
Yeah, it's a 2-person job minimum, and it sucks. But I love the result. And yeah, putting clothes away. I'll vacuum. Love to vacuum.
Vacuum is really satisfying.
No problem.
Get those sounds like tip, 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 tip,
Yep. Love
off
to clean the
pot.
bathroom, get everything nice and shiny. But for fucking putting clothes away.
All right, you clean my bathroom. I'll make your bed.
Good, because I thought you were going to say, I'll put your clothes away. And I was like, I don't want you touching my clothes with your grubby little hands.
But my bed, you
My
can
bed,
get your
sure.
fingers all over
Oh my
it.
God, yes.
Thank you so much, Sophie, and happy Mother's Day. Next one comes from Piper Gallagher. Okay, person who always requests Every Time We Touch by Cascada to be played no matter the occasion.
Hell yeah.
Is that every time we touch, the honesty is too much, and I have to hold my eyes, and I want to hold you till I die. Till we both break down and cry. I want to hold you till the end.
No. That's
No, not that one. That's not what was I singing?
I don't know, but it was beautiful, but it was incorrect.
Yeah, if that's not a song, you should make it because it was awesome.
What's the
Every
Cascada?
time we touch, I get this feeling.
Oh,
The one I was singing
that's good.
was
That's
a
good song.
1977 ballad by Canadian pop rock artist Dan Hill from his album Longer Fuse. And the song's called Sometimes When We Touch.
Yeah, so different. Different name.
Yeah, but bit of fun, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wait, are we not having fun anymore?
Undeniable fun.
Every time we touch, but not sometimes. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, Piper writes, "Howdy, howdy." I don't think that's the version I know. It must have been covered by someone. It was covered by Mark Gray and Tammy Wynette. Newton, I reckon that's from 1996. It's sort of like a Eurobeat sort of. Manny Pacquiao sang the song on an episode of Jimmy Kimmel, The Boxer. It's
Wow.
weird.
That is weird.
Tina Turner recorded a cover.
And so what was the fact quote or question?
Bonnie Tyler. Sometimes when we touch.
What do you say your favorite Manny Pacquiao song is?
I think that's it. That's probably it. The Pac-Man. Piper writes, question, howdy. Have you and your co-workers at any point in your life had little nonsense things you would do to entertain each other on long shifts or just to make it through the day? I daren't proffer a query without offering my own response. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
Perfect.
That's something I should stress. We always encourage. If you ask a question, please give us an answer yourself. So Piper writes, I've spent nearly 8 out of my nearly 24 years in the service industry. Yuck, frankly. And that's not my comment.
No,
Piper.
that's you interrupting.
It really felt
Yeah.
like it.
And I was thinking recently about how when I worked at a pizza place with an open kitchen, my co-workers and I would break out into loud, spontaneous applause for no other reason than to try and get the customers in the parlor to join in. It worked a remarkable amount of times. We tried it, and we'd all be very smug after a successful attempt.
That rules.
I like that a lot.
one other quick solution we had during our busiest times when no one was in a particularly chipper mood is that one of us would pipe up and say, "Can I get a let's go on the line?" And we would all respond enthusiastically with, "Let's go." Keep up the great pods and remember to always. I don't think it goes on.
Wow.
Wow.
I think stuff like that, those little like harmless game type things just for your own entertainment, are just the best way to get through a slog of like any kind, especially customer facing roles, retail and service industry and stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, I can't think of any examples. I think about like in, was it Super Troopers?
Oh, yeah.
Where they how many times you can say meow
Yep.
when he's pulled over someone. But
Okay, meow.
I can't think of any from my actual life.
When I was working at a coffee shop, we weren't allowed to eat the food. Like, you had to pay for any food you ate, obviously. So it was every Wednesday. It was the same three of us that worked, and we would just try to see how much food we could eat that we did not pay for.
Without paying for it?
Of course.
Wow. And we've got
we
it on
got
tape.
it.
We got it. We got it.
Butterscotch fudge, delicious.
That's awesome. Especially anything that is free or stolen,
Yeah.
even better.
So good. Well, to be fair as well, our bosses were complete assholes.
Yeah.
So we didn't feel bad.
Right, yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Dave, what about you? Have you ever worked on Honest Day in your life?
When I worked at the project, there were long
when
days
I was
there.
in a cloud costume, and I thought,
I was thinking about, did we do anything? And I was like, no, I just went out solo and made balloon animals. It was.
Have you ever had a real job?
Yeah, I was going to say when I worked at the project for many years in post-production.
No. I don't know. Is that a real job?
Nah.
I don't think you've ever had a real job.
You're not a man of the people.
Oh, come on. I'm a people of the man.
What?
No follow-up questions. So,
I think it actually works. I hate to admit it, but it works. Yeah, go on. When you were at the project, your cushy job.
Yeah,
you're
cushy
high-flying.
jobs. That's right. When we're working 50 hours a week, absolutely. In post-production, to pass the time, the long days, we had a thing called the Guinness Book of Office Records, where someone would make up a record, and then people tried to beat it. And you're looking at the record holder for the fastest time to do 3 laps around the table with a pen balanced on his face.
Oh, that's
Whoa,
good.
That's really good. That reminds me a bit of Abraham Lincoln holding up an axe, that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah, it does have that sort of vibe. That sounds fun, though.
But I would definitely be qualifying for that, but it's just at the time he was the president of the United States.
Yeah.
That's true. Speaking of records, Jess holds the record for most Instagram followers. I'm closing in on 10,000. When did you hit 10,000, Jess? Remember you had a campaign for it?
Yeah, I think it was probably 4 to 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm only 128 off currently. And I think if 128 people right now stop what they're doing
And unfollow you, that would be really funny.
That is not where I was. I was saying follow me.
No, you're right. That's a very funny idea. If everyone who's listening who follows you goes and unfollows you,
Jess,
and maybe they make sure they're following me, and they their pet accounts are following me and stuff. We get me to 20.
If this mood you're in has made me reach for the scales. Okay, I'm starting to wonder how the blood pressure is.
Yeah. It's perfect.
Have you been drinking? Something's not right with you.
Sorry, I thought that's what you were saying. Is that you wanted people to unfollow
I want people
you?
to follow me.
Oh, after they've unfollowed you, followed me.
No.
Got their dog to follow me. Because it's a bit
No.
sad to campaign for it, Matt. That's the thing.
Well, that's what I thought when you did it. But my non-campaigning has not gotten results.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Although Gary
Dave, what
J.
are you on?
Gary
Sorry,
J from the UK
sorry.
did say, Matt, it's no secret Jess is just more popular than you. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
Gary.
I worked on a national radio station for 6 years.
Yeah, and
So
you just,
more people were aware of it.
and you're just more likable
Yeah.
character in general.
Yeah, exactly right.
Not
yeah.
not a more likable
And
person.
I post
more
tit
likable
pics.
character.
And that'll get them.
Well, that helps. I am growing a pair.
You should take pictures.
When someone said to me a while ago, "Why don't you grow a pair?" I thought, yeah, I will.
I will,
And
thank you.
yeah, I'm
Dave, what are you on? How close
filling
are
out
you to
these cups.
10,000?
I've just got to finish unfollowing Matt and then I can go back to my own profile. I'm actually somewhat of an underground artist. I'm still 2,500 away from 10,000.
All right, we've got to get Dave to 10,000 people. Come on, this is important. Get your dog an Instagram account. Follow Dave.
Thank
He posts
you so
great
much.
pie pics.
I think my secret to not being popular is only posting about once a month, never doing a story or anything like that. Just post a photo of me in a pie, and then I won't post for another 3 months. But
Yeah,
you know,
so follow him, and he's not spamming your,
Actually,
your
it's true.
FYP.
It's true. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jess. Appreciate that.
I'm going to follow you right now, Dave. Here I go.
Do it. I dare you.
Do we have any other answers for Piper?
You're the one who hasn't answered. So how about you fucking answer, Piper?
Back to the
Can I ask you a question,
supermarket
Matt?
days. We do like as trolley boys. We'd see how many trolleys we could do in a train up from the underground car park at
That's right.
Moorabbin.
Oh, yeah.
You
You have
guys
to
were
get
like,
around a bend.
oh, okay. I thought
That's a
the
bit of
competition
fun.
was, let's see how hard we can work. The boss is
I mean,
like, guys,
that
got a new
is
challenge
basically-
today? New challenge.
That is
Let's
basically
see how hard we
what
can
it
work.
is. Look, I mixed it up. If a customer told me there was a trolley, blocks away, you better believe I'd go get it for the good of the company. I better go. All right. Well, yeah, I'll have a look. And but I did also. I think I had the record for most trolleys from the underground car park.
Well done.
Yeah. I think it was worth breaking my back for Woolworths.
Yeah, I think that sounds awesome.
I'm pretty sure that they'll be there for me when the medical bills come in later life.
I have officially followed Dave on Instagram.
Did you not follow Dave?
Thank you
Is
so
that
much.
true?
That's lovely.
Jess?
Finally.
Did you not follow Dave Warnicky?
No,
No, she didn't.
I hate pies.
Oh, you've found them repulsive.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jess. I'm just going to follow you back here, Jess.
I follow you guys, don't I?
I used to follow Matt.
The final one this week comes from Kevin West. Remember before we recorded this, he said let's not take too many side streets in the Patreon section today, but I think we've nailed that. Anyway,
Shall we keep count of who's derailing, going on about the wrong song?
Yeah. What's the count at?
Unfucking believable.
Who we got
First,
next?
If we get Dave off his phone for a second, the next one and the final one this week in the Fact Quote of Questions section comes from Kevin West, aka Bruce Tinkle's accountant, Moira Wett. Oh, I knew Moira. And Moira / Kevin, both great names, has a game.
Ooh.
Oh, fun. Good idea.
All right. It is a multiple choice question.
Great.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Which of these Melbourne crimes is true? A. December 14th, 2002. Irony literally struck 22-year-old Leo Turner outside the Butterfly Club in downtown Melbourne as visiting drag performer Queef Latina tackled the thief who was being chased by police after robbing a nearby jewelry store. Turner, who is a vocal member of the Southern Cross Hammerskins, was taken into custody. That's option 1. Option 2.
I'm locking in option 1.
Okay.
What year was that one?
2002.
Okay.
Option B. April 1st, 2007, Benjamin Jorgensen and Donna Hayes bungled a robbery of Melbourne's Cuckoo restaurant by making off with a bag of bread rolls instead of the day's takings of $26,000. The 38-year-old Jorgensen made for the wrong getaway car with the bag of bread and accidentally discharged his firearm into 36-year-old Hayes' buttocks. It's option B. Or option C, February 3rd, 1982, Charlotte Elliott arrived in the early morning to open her Block Place cafe. Although she was the first to arrive, her indoor pot plants appeared to already be watered and smelled of asparagus. This was the first reported incident of Balin Baker, a serial urinist whose breaking and entering spree spanned the final weeks of the summer and earned his moniker as the Laneway Leaker.
Oh, that's good.
A, B, or C. Jess, you've locked in A?
Yep.
Yep.
Because I want it to be
Yep.
real.
Okay. Are you answering too, Matt, or can you see the
Yeah.
answer?
I haven't seen the answer yet. I assume if I scroll down, I'll say, but I'll just take the third option. So whatever you leave. Well, unless you're also going A.
Oh, no,
Then
I'm
I'll
going to
take
go
B. Then I'll
for-
take B and C.
Okay, now I'm going to go for B. I think it's the buttocks. Discounting A because in 2002, the Butterfly Club, it wasn't downtown Melbourne. That was in South Melbourne and it moved.
You're a fucking loser. You're an absolute sad little freak.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I was just choosing it because I want that to be true because that's so great. And you're just like, well, actually, like, just shut up.
Also, like, yeah, do we don't say downtown? What is downtown? Is that
that's a CBD,
south?
I guess.
Oh, right. But then what's uptown? I never knew what that meant. That's like a New York thing, right? Uptown and downtown?
Probably.
So, yeah, I've ruled out A for the downtown reason. But now that extra information has helped me. You've gone B. I'll go C. The serial Uranus.
I hate that
like
a serial.
Uranus.
I like that. That's the one I want it to be, actually. So I hope it's real.
All right. The answer is B. Dave is correct.
Wow.
They shot. That is a bungled crime.
In the butt.
In the butt. Right in the bunghole. A bungled crime ended up in the bunghole. Thanks so much, Kevin West. That's the first time someone's used that section for a game. Bit of fun.
Love that. Great idea.
Cheers to Kevin, Piper, Sophie, and Evan. Next thing we like to do is shout out to a few of our other great supporters who are on the, I believe, the AskProd level or above. And we normally come up with a game. Jess, I don't know if you're taking suggestions, but I was thinking, I haven't mentioned it, but a movie I really enjoyed a few years ago was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter or something like that. Mm-hmm. So maybe we could do different spin-offs of Abraham Lincoln doing a different sort of supernatural job or something.
No.
Okay.
I've had an idea.
Yep.
I thought it was great.
I think what we should do is... I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this movie, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Hey, with
Vampire
Daniel
Hunter.
Day-Lewis? Oh, okay.
I thought like we could do like another kind of alternate job title type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that
spin-off
sounds pretty
type
good.
thing, yeah. That's what I think.
This happened to me for real. I hosted this quiz thing for this country festival, and at the meeting there, and it was organised by family, that my cousin was at the meeting, and they said, "What we need 3 team names." There was something that wasn't locked in, a placeholder. And I said, because the teams are like in ages, and they didn't want to be just generations or whatever. So I said, what about like the Pots are the small, the youngest, the Schooners and the Pints. And the guy running the meeting didn't seem to hear me. I'm like, all right.
Sure.
One of the other guys did. Hamish, he heard me, but my cousin Jock didn't. And a minute later, Jock goes, what about the Pots, Pints and Schooners? And the guy running the meeting, Cam goes, yeah, that's that's really good. And Jock, I said to him later, man, I'm like, were you taking a piss there? I couldn't tell because me and Hamish shared a look like that's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm like, were you doing a joke or was that just? And he's like, you didn't say that. He had no memory of it.
Wow.
So yeah, like what is that? What happened to you there?
I was just making a joke there, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just being a little shit for fun. But what you're describing, while infuriating, is also what happens to women every day. So let's get on to the game then.
That actually, yeah. I think what happened to me is sort of, in a lot of ways, like what happens to women every day.
Yeah.
And so it's just another little piece of me feeling empathy for the plight.
Actually, a few years ago, I watched a movie called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And I just thought that'd be quite fun to riff on.
Yeah. I apologise for that really dull story. AJ edited it out. So, Jess, how do you want to come up with the job, or do you want to read the name, or do you want to read the city?
I want to read the names.
Okay, Dave, city
Yep.
or the play or the name?
I'm happy with City. Let's go
All
with
right.
that.
Okay, great. Thought one of the two you might have felt adventurous, but that's all right. I'm really good at this.
You're very good at it.
So that's fine.
I can't wait to watch you close your eyes and just
go into my mind palace.
Exactly right.
Which is an infinite white space. Like, truly, I can't see anything. So that means, Dave, you'll kick us off.
Oh, am I not doing the city? Sorry, I
Yeah,
misunderstood
that's how
that.
we start.
That's how we start, remember?
Every time.
Well, I would like to thank from a city, first of all. From
What is
Emmaus?
this? Episode 496?
I'm not sure how to say this, so I'm going to
That'd be
have a crack.
Emmaus, I reckon.
Emmaus? You reckon it's Emmaus? Yeah.
Well, that's how the school is
Rock me,
spelled.
Emmaus.
The
I was
school
thinking-
Emmaus.
I was thinking about Emmaus School as well. So Emmaus in, I believe, is Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States, it's
Megan or Megan Frazier.
The Bigfoot Tamer.
Whoa.
Tames the Bigfoot. Breaks them in so they can be used, around the farm.
Love it.
well, with apologies to all the Bigfoots. I would like to thank from Swansea, I believe, in Wales, in the greatest of Britons. It is
Jack Clements.
The Fairy Wrangler.
Oh, that's
Wrangle
good.
the fairies, herd them up
Jack
so
Clemens.
they can work on the farm.
Very. I would like to thank from St Maurice in South Australia. It is
Knucklehead McSpazatron.
A mummy coddler.
Mummy Coddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does coddle mean again?
Sort
like-
of what we do to you.
Yeah. You go, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll fix your
Oh,
bandages up there.
Yeah. And we wrap you in cotton wool and we don't let you
Right.
do
which
anything adventurous.
They're already wrapped up in bandages and now a bit of cotton wool as well.
Yeah.
So they're already
They're
pretty
very
coddled.
cozy.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
thank you to
Am I going to
Knucklehead
run out
there.
of mythical things?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Feel free to bring up the cryptid generator. I'm sure there's one. I'd like to thank from Woy Woy in New South Wales. Hello and thank you to
Sebastiano Cirillo.
The Bunyip hairdresser.
Ooh.
Or the Bunyip barber.
Bunyip Barber.
that's
That's
really
good.
good. Really
Because
good.
bunyips deserve to look good.
Yeah, they do.
Sticking in Australia from South Australia this time in Evandale. Thank you to
Erica Wallace.
The lizard man. The
Liquor.
The lizard man liquor.
wow.
Lizard
Someone's got
man
to do
liquor.
it.
Someone's
Yeah.
got to do it. Lizard
Someone's
men
gotta do it.
deserve to be licked.
Yeah, lick
Damn
clean.
That's right.
Because something you got to remember about them is they love butterbeans. So, once they've dribbled all that butterbean juice, someone needs to lick it up, and they can't.
Yeah.
Lizards famously do not have very versatile tongues.
They don't at all.
No.
Yeah, it's very disappointing.
Next up, this is from a location unknown to us, so we can only assume it's deep within the Fortress of the Moles, thanks to
William Wynart.
The demon dance instructor.
Yes. Because demons deserve to dance.
Yeah.
exactly. They've
Well-
got rhythm.
Yes. I'm picturing specifically the one from Buffy the Musical episode. Mm-hmm. But that was more singing, wasn't it? But I think he danced as well.
Yeah, you just sing and dance in a
Yeah.
musical.
He's a song and dance demon.
That's right.
And he teaches you how to do it. If you're a demon.
We're staying in the fortress. This location is still unknown to us, and that is the location of
George.
George.
George is a mole man masseuse.
Oh, yes.
Very good.
Mole men deserve to be loose.
Loosey goosey, oh man.
Well, listen up. Hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey.
Hey, baby,
Hey,
what's so
baby.
tight?
Give me a little rub down, baby.
Real sleazy
Ooh.
masseuse. Hey, ooh.
Oh, he's so tense.
Oh, got some real nuts there. Let me
Relax
work them
those,
out for you.
relax those pretty little
Hey,
shoulders.
come on, baby.
Come on. We've just lost Dave. He's just looking off into the distance.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
He's listening to us going, these two are repulsive.
And that's George. You've got a number 1 somewhere in your email, if that makes you, just in case you don't know who you are. Thank you so much. I would like to thank next up from a fantastic location, Riga in Latvia.
Oh, wow. Would we say this is Faso?
I reckon I
Oh,
would have
yeah, I
had to go
reckon.
there. Yeah, FASO.
Is that the same spelling as part of a country in Africa? Bikini Faso?
Oh,
That's not
Burkina
right, is it?
Faso. Yeah, that's how they spell
That's
it.
close. That was close. That's close. Bikini Faso.
Bikini Faso.
Bikini.
That's my drag name.
Honestly, that's great.
That's pretty good.
The Easter Bunny basket weaver.
Oh, that's nice.
Someone's going to make those baskets for the bunny.
Yeah, I know that's not quite. That was days ago now, but
Yeah.
the Easter Bunny really ravages through some baskets. So
You gotta get started.
It's a big year ahead.
Yeah. You enjoyed your long weekend. Now let's get cracking.
Yeah.
And finally, we'd like to thank our third occupant of the Fortress of the Moles, another location that is unknown to us, but that is where this person dwells. Thank you to
Brendan.
The Incredible Hulk Fluffer. You know, when the
Hulk porn.
Yeah, when the Hulk, can't quite, get his little guy angry.
Yep.
And you'd hate to see him when he's angry.
Yeah.
But people will pay quite a premium too as well. So, the fluffer has to go in and rev up the little big boy.
I think the
so
Hulk's
to speak.
one of the biggest OnlyFans artists at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 or 5 mil a month, I think. Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Way
Amazing.
more than Marvel ever paid.
Should we get into OnlyFans instead of podcasting, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
We could still-
Essen and Effen?
I reckon we still just do this, but we're naked.
Right. Because OnlyFans, it's not even like, it wasn't invented for adult stuff. It's just,
and that's like a big market of it, but it isn't entirely, no.
I think they did, didn't they try and ban it for a while and they realised that was the only reason anyone used it
And
they
they're
brought
like,
it back? Okay. Well, morally we're against it, I guess.
It's
but
like the CEO of
we
Pornhub
like
being like,
money as
whoa,
well.
whoa. There's all this sex on here. What is this?
This was meant to be YouTube Mark II. We just
the
thought
hell?
they'd be nice little clips.
What? I thought this is where people would come to learn how to fix their kitchen sink.
Yeah. But this
my
is
What the
smut.
heck?
This is supposed to be a lovely little hub.
This is wall-to-wall smut.
The heck?
Well, thank you so much to Brendan Faso, George, William, Erica, Sebastiano, Knucklehead, Jack, and Megan. And that leaves only a couple of people to be inducted into the Triptych Club, which Jess explains so well.
Thank you. So what it is people who have supported us for 3 consecutive years. They are welcomed with applause and triumph and pomp and circumstance to our exclusive club. Once you're in, you cannot leave. But why would you want to? It has everything you could possibly need. Dave, mention something you need.
Something you need. Right now, I think like a dentist appointment.
We've got a dentist. What else you got?
Wow.
Dinosaur Dentist. That could have been another one.
Yep.
All the other ones are mythical.
Well, yeah, just like dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're real. So we have everything you need. Matt is lifting the velvet rope. He's got the list. He welcomes you in. Dave, he books a band and just brings a good vibe.
Yeah, he's emceeing the show, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's up on stage now, revving the crowd up into a frenzy.
I'm behind the bar. This week we are serving everything in a very large hat. But I only have like 2 of the hats, so you have to drink your drink quickly and then bring it back, and I just give it a quick rinse and off we go. So.
Oh yeah, we can just have a straw for everyone.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, okay. Like fishbowl margaritas.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
But everyone just only suck, no blowing.
No blowing.
Because we want it to be hygienic.
Okay.
That's important.
Come on, guys. There's no COVID in the Triptych Club, though.
No. Well, everyone's dead as well. You can't double die.
I try to like not so explicitly say that
Yeah,
everyone's
well,
dead,
that's.
Come on.
I mean, yeah.
but they are dead, 100%.
Yeah.
They're like fully dead.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
heaven.
ghosts. It's heaven.
Yeah.
And we're all together.
It's like the twist of the end of
if
that
I
movie.
died and then I have to spend eternity with
Planet
you
of the
guys,
Apes, the remake. Yes.
yeah, it'll just be this for fucking ever.
Abraham Lincoln. God, that's good.
Dave, have you booked a band?
You're never going to believe it.
What?
Obviously, I book these bands years in advance, especially when we get an act of this caliber. And then Matt read out the topic and I went, no way. No way, Jose.
What's happened?
Because this week, performing live, we have Mr. President.
Oh, what was Mr. President's song? Coco Jumbo?
Yeah,
Oh.
Coco Jumbo.
Jumbo.
Yes.
Wow.
They will be playing both the original and the extended version, which there are both of.
Yes.
Like, all right, we're finished. That's the radio cut. Now let's extend it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do they have a second most played song? No,
So Coco Jumbo's got 350 million on Spotify. Second most, this is still obviously a lot, but it's a big jump down. 24 million for I Give You My Heart. Same album.
it's so amazing that bands like One Hit Wonder, Yeah, they've got a song that only has 24 million plays. So it's very strange.
But this is in their top 10. This is what they've got. Coco Jambu. Coco Jambu extended version. Coco Jambo from a movie.
You've said it different every time.
Well, because I used to say Coco Jumbo, but this is spelled Jambo.
Oh, I thought it was Coco Jumbo. But
Me
it's
too,
Jambo.
but they spelled it Jambu.
Oh, Jambu. Cool.
And there's also in the top 10.
I don't know if we can trust them.
No,
Mr. President, I'll take this
I'll
one.
take this one, thank you.
And there's also Coco Jumbo instrumental version.
Oh, yeah. Great for karaoke. Well, that's great. Can't wait to hear them play all of their hits after we induct in the two we've got this week. So, Dave, you're on stage. You're hyping up the audience, emceeing the night.
Absolutely.
And then once they're in, Mr. President will take the stage.
First up, they play Coco Jumbo, and next up, they play a Coco Jambu.
Oh, great.
Perfect.
So they're going to play a few of the different hits.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone's
Which
happy.
is exciting. All right, so we've got two inductees. If you hear your name, run on in and make yourselves at home. Dave, what does the country initials CH mean?
I believe that's Switzerland.
What the heck?
I believe so.
What the heck?
What do Switzerland people call themselves? Chitzerland or something? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, they call themselves... Because remember their currency is always CHF.
Switzerland.
I mean, well, it's like, yeah.
That's so stupid.
The Latin name for the country, Helvetia. And the letters CH appear on Swiss cars and internet addresses because it stands for Confederatio Helvetica, meaning Swiss Confederation.
Oh, so not Switzerland.
Sorry, I've just kept reading here. Now it says underneath, just kidding, it's actually Switzerland.
So Helvetica, the font is basically Swiss. Or is that a different
it's
spelling?
Helvetico, yeah.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
From 0 from 2. I'm 0 from more than that, let's be honest.
Oh, no, sorry. I've just opened it up again. Just correct myself there. It is right.
Okay.
And to Google that even further, Helvetica is a widely used sans serif typeface developed in Switzerland in 1957. So you are absolutely correct there, Matt.
Whoa, there you go. All right, so we've got two inductees. First one from Switzerland, a.k.a. Switzerland, a.k.a. the Confederacy of Helvetica, or Helvetico, from Placelbe in Freiburg. It's Aurélie Blanc.
Putting the cha-ching in Switzerland, it's Aurélie Blanc.
Aurélie Blanc. You
I was
happy with
drawing-
Aurélie Blanc there?
Already blonde.
Aurélie Blanc, what a name.
I like it.
So
It's a
good.
lovely name. Love it.
And secondly, and finally, this week, welcome in from Perth, Western Australia, it's Emma Purton.
I'd be hurting without Emma Purton.
Oh, I got kicked in the nuts.
I mean, normally I try and add something to it, but that is perfection.
Thank you.
I was thinking we were going to go curtain, pulling back the curtain for Purton, but you had it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You had it.
Yeah. He's very good.
So good.
He's incredibly good.
Yeah. Welcome in Emma Purton and Aurélie Blanc. Make yourselves at home. Please do grab a straw and have a sip from the big old, whatever that hat was that I called it. What's the style? It's corn cob hat.
Already forgotten.
No,
Yeah.
that's not it. It's something like stovepipe.
Yeah.
Stovepipe hat.
That'd be it.
Have a sip and make yourselves at home. Get ready for, as Dave's about to introduce, or we'll finish up the episode, then Dave will introduce Mr. President to the stage. Anything we need to tell people before Dave does that, Jess?
That we love them so much that anybody can suggest a topic. There's a link in our show notes. It's also on our website, which is dogoonpod.com. You can find us on social media at dogoonpod. TikTok is Do Go On Podcast, and honestly, we're blowing up over there, so definitely go check that out. And wash your butt,
Oh, great advice.
just because we forget sometimes.
Yes.
So you got to wash your butt. Dave, boot this baby home.
Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow me and unfollow Matt on Instagram. We really appreciate it.
I really hope people aren't doing that. Because I think they don't realize you're both being sarcastic and you're actually meaning the opposite of that.
I'm not being sarcastic.
You want people to unfollow Dave and Jess and that you want them to follow me. Don't bully the elderly. Because that's what, if you unfollow me, you're basically, you're bullying an old man.
And I shouldn't bully you just based on your age.
Not just based
That's
on that.
ageism. Everybody deserves to be bullied equally. Now, remember, go out and follow Dave
Matt
Warnocky. Do what you want
Matt
with
Stewart
me. I
Comedy.
don't fucking care.
At Matt Stewart Comedy.
But definitely unfollow Matt Stewart.
Follow at Matt Stewart Comedy. Let's get me to 10,000. I'll give you all a little kiss. Only if you want.
I don't want it, mate.
Yeah, well, that's great. Then I won't. And the only way you can guarantee I won't kiss you is if you follow me.
All right, you've just got a new follow. I'm back on.
Oh, you're lucky. I was puckering up.
So we will be back next week with another episode. But until then, thank you so much for listening. And until then, goodbye.
Later.
Bye.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Don't forget to sign up to our tour mailing list so we know where in the world you are and we can come and tell you when we're coming there.
Wherever we go, we always hear 6 months later, oh, you should come to Manchester. We were just in Manchester.
We were just there, but this way you'll never miss out. And don't forget to sign up, go to our Instagram, click our link tree. Very, very easy.
It means we know to come to you, and you'll also know that we're coming to you.
Yeah, we'll come to you, you come to us. Very good.
And we give you a spam-free guarantee.